Thankfully, he freaking called you up, or even brought them back.
Well, he's good friends with us. He's a good guy.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, it could have sucked if they just like they ran loose and
Yeah,
you're
and they
like,
just pieced out. All of a sudden, they
guys,
come outside. Where's our goats?
yeah, you're like,
Like, where's all my
guys,
money? Where's where's my money? That's like that's literally what I'm thinking. That's like $600 each. Where's my money?
oh my gosh. Yo, let's get it.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Surviving the Apocalypse. I'm Chris, the High Guy Jacobs.
And I'm that panda guy, and today we're gonna be talking about really everything. We're gonna start off with bots, how they got banned. There was a wave ban that went on. Do you want to start off and talk a little bit about your thoughts on about it?
Yeah, absolutely. First and foremost, let's touch into what exactly are bots. Well, first and foremost, for those who don't know, a lot of this game involves helping each other in the alliance. There's a little button, typically on the right or left, depending on where you come from, that's going to allow you to help your alliance removing removing time off of their timers, whether they're building, whether they're healing troops, all this kind of stuff. And recently, IGG went on a ban fest and ended up banning a bunch of these bot accounts. And people use bots to reduce that healing factor, because unfortunately, healing in this game is atrocious, wouldn't you say?
It sure is. I mean, the thing about healing is it's probably the best way to monetize on. So I doubt they're really going to change it. Though
Mm-hmm.
people always are like, "Oh, it'd be great if they could lower the cost or lower the time." And it's like, yeah, you'd be on the field longer, but are you really going to spend more? I mean, people probably would, but then again, it's like all speculation. So it's like the devs might not find it worth trying to actually, reduce any of that.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to just keep it at the exorbitant price.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I think that the bots, for example, are such a key important factor in maintaining these fighting alliances. So coming through and banning them like they did, I think is pretty hindering to the playing experience.
Yeah, I'll say this too, because I think it was a pretty good point. It's kind of like no matter what, right? Even if I'm micro healing, for example, through the day, and I'm getting a lot of my helps or a lot of my healing off through micro healing, there's gonna be fights where I inevitably do not have a choice but to, use a bunch of speedos, right? Like when I'm tower fighting, I can't just micro heal through the tower fight because I'm actively fighting.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of gives you chances to micro heal and still keep up the fights throughout the day. And then, maybe teams that don't have the bots are going to be spending more, which is also kind of a good profit standpoint for the devs. You know what I mean? But it's
Mm-hmm.
also like, you get what I'm saying? So overall, I mean, you're still going to be spending a ton of speedos because there are going to be fights where you inevitably don't have a choice about
Yeah,
using all
you
your
don't
speed.
have 4 hours to micro heal. You have to heal right now.
Yeah, like I need to swarm this rally right now. I can't micro heal and be like, all right, I'll be back in 4 hours just to win that rally, guys.
Yeah, just like unless they're starting an 8 hour rally, but then in that situation, it's a totally different game. But it's true, it's one of those situations where they came through and they ended up banning a lot, and I think the majority of now, don't get me wrong, the majority of people that seem that have been getting affected are ones that spend a lot of time profiting off of their bot services or what have you. Like I myself, I admittedly run a couple myself, but I do a lot of manual clicking and stuff like that, which is not against IGG's terms of service, right? I've been through and I've looked through. There is nothing that prevents me from creating those accounts and clicking through manually. So a
Yeah, I
lot of
mean, I
times
mean,
I do.
I did. I think someone asked them, but like you can have multiple accounts, like as long as you're running them legitimately, is
Mm-hmm.
like their only thing. Thing is, I do think they only banned, I think, like small accounts or whatever. I mean, there's plenty of, I believe, like bigger accounts that probably also use their main account to like hit the heal, but they won't ban
Mm-hmm.
the main accounts because they know you're actively playing on them, they know you're actively fighting on them, they know you're actively spending on them, yada yada yada. But they're gonna ban those probably really low might accounts
Mm-hmm.
that are spamming helps. I don't know how they like determine it. Maybe they're doing it off of like click patterns, or maybe they just indiscriminately ban any like baby accounts that have been like there for months that just have like 100,000 helps. so on and so
Well,
forth. So I
if
don't.
I could give my speculation, because I've heard a couple of different stories, and I've kind of pieced this together based on a couple of people that I've spoken to who have had one of them banned, and I think most of it comes from not necessarily the macro clickers, but a lot of people who are using like the auto clickers. So it's like mass repeating clicks on the exact same spot over and over repeatedly, versus the indiscriminate just copying and replaying a click parameter or what have you. So
Well,
sorry, go
well,
ahead.
if you're doing that, it's still gonna click in the same area. No, I mean, like, I get what you're trying to say. Like if you're using like multiple accounts and it's just clicking through each of them, but like it's still gonna be clicking in the same area, same as if you would use an auto clicker.
But what I mean is like, because you have some of the people, if you look at when you're using BlueStacks, for example, because from what I understand, the way that BlueStacks works is it basically layers them on top of each other, right? So it's like you've got, if you're running say 4 instances of BlueStacks and you're having each of them just click the help button, versus what I do, for example, where I'll run 9 instances of the game and I'll just run the macro through every instance, right? So a lot of the situations they're getting a lot of the ghost clicks versus in my situation where there's almost no ghost clicks. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're trying to say.
So I'm wondering if there's a situation, because I noticed that there's a girl that plays in our alliance who handles a bunch of bots who had hers banned, but the other ones in our alliance that don't do it that way didn't. So it was one of those weird things. I'm like, I wonder if they're watching, for ghost clicks and things like that too.
It is funny because the guy in our alliance had his band, and he so I think I've talked about this with you before, but the capture words and stuff. He
Mm-hmm.
usually stacks them for, I think it's like a month or two, and then he like he'll loot some of them himself, but he'll usually let Big D loot most of it just so Big D can like fight it out one event, right? Because he literally will just give it to Big D because he knows Big D is gonna like fight for the team.
You gotta fund
But
that D.
he lost like 2 billion resources, he said,
Oh
when they got banned because
no.
they had so many they were sitting on. I was like, dang, bro.
Oh
Like, imagine
Jesus.
I'm gonna have to actively burn them more if they do more wave bans in session succession a lot. I think people thought like bots were done for forever too, but it's like it was only a wave. Like, you don't know how
Yeah.
often they're gonna be doing these wave bans or whatever. I mean, it could be every month, which would still be really annoying to make new accounts, but ultimately I don't think they can just like they can insta ban them off of like a program. I don't think they're able to like scan your computer or anything, or like tell you're using a program to be
Mhm.
running them. I don't know. I find that to be like more complex side of things. So
It's true. I mean, I assume it's probably not nearly as nefarious as we assume it to be. It's not like they're probably, they're not sitting in some back room going, I wonder how we screw over the community. You know what I mean? Like, that's not, I don't think that's how it is. But I do think you did bring up an interesting point in regards to why they got banned. Because, I mean, like, let's be honest, we've had bots for a long time. And don't get me wrong, they've definitely become far more popular over the last 6 months, than they were previous. I remember, for example, even 7 months ago, our alliance didn't have it and weren't even talking about it. And now every alliance that I talk to has them. They're everywhere. You know what I mean? Like,
hey,
they're
you can't
literally
live without
everywhere.
'em. If you don't have them, you're like you're the minority
Yeah,
basically. It's like
now, yeah,
you're
for
doing.
sure.
And it's even better though. I will say this: people would have to buy them before, right? Like,
Yeah.
you literally would have to pay out of like PayPal or whatever the case. I'm pretty sure. Like, if you wanted to buy them off of a seller, obviously people can set them up themselves, but not everybody wants to, or not
Mhm.
everybody's capable of doing it. But now you got gold that just comes in from the vault, so you can be like, hey, I'm gonna pay for it through the gold in the vault, and they don't care. You know what I mean? So like, you can literally just pay off of people's like scraps that are left behind, which is actually convenient. But the issue
Mhm.
about this is, like I said before, the gold, the people that are getting the gold literally take the gold and they just resell it at a lower price, which is like cutting into IGG's profits. So it's like, at the end of the day, you're probably the reason these bots got mass banned, because they wanted
You
to freaking hurt.
bastards. No doubt.
Yeah,
No
yeah, because
doubt.
I mean, I know I mentioned this, but like the Sona guy was on Discord and he said he literally lost 1 million gold, bro. He said he lost 1 million gold through this freaking because all his stuff got banned. I think he probably had it in like maybe a Shell Alliance or something. I don't
Yeah,
really
yeah.
know how he handled that, but I guess it got banned and he can't access the alliance now. So it's just like goodbye gold, I guess.
Jesus. But I
That's
mean,
tough though, bro.
but hindsight 2020, that is the risk you play when you work within the gray area of the terms of service. Do you know what I mean? Like the problem with all of this is, like, I feel bad for the guy 100%, especially knowing that it was a service that a lot of people like
There's like a subscription
yeah,
service or
that's what
something
I'm saying.
too.
Like, everybody I talked to, I mean, it was a well-known name within the community. of, bot help. And,
Mhm.
as soon as something like that goes under, like you said, everyone thinks it's for forever. But in my head, I'm going, no, no, no. This is always just a blip, because no matter what, people are going to, like, there's such a pinnacle part to unfortunately surviving the apocalypse. You need healers in your alliance to be able to do that they're going to just find a different way. They'll just do it a different way.
You know what Rise of Kingdoms did to avoid this? I
Hmm.
don't know if it's kind of funny because I don't really play Rise of Kingdoms, but I feel like I sound like I know a lot. But Rise of Kingdoms, I remember I've watched the streams, and basically I think there's a limit to how many helps you can get a day.
Oh,
It's like
really?
1,000 or something. So you literally can't micro heal. So if you're in a big kingdom, what sucks is you literally will have to make sure you're healing the maximum. Like you have to make sure your hospital is as full as it can be. Because if you don't, you're wasting your heals. Because a lot of these fights, they end up having no helps by the end of it. They're
Yeah.
fighting with no helps and healing with no helps. It's like, bro,
Jesus.
you
But see,
can't micro heal or you're screwed.
not to
It's
mention though,
funny.
but this also opens up an entire parameter for IGG to come through and give us a $5 auto helps package a month. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
if they were to, even if it was at $10 a month for auto helps, hell yes, I'm in. Give it. Here's my, take it. That's fine. I'm all right with that. That
They're
that's
more
an
likely
easy
to add it
avenue to
to
do that.
survivors. They're gonna add it to survivors. They're gonna be like, if you pay $100, it will last for 8 hours of helping. If you pay $500, that's 24 hours of quick helping. It's like
Oh God.
you're gonna be if you pay $100, you get one help a minute. If you pay $500, you can help 20 times a minute. I'm
Oh
like, bro,
shit. But that's what
they're
I'm saying.
like,
That would be a quality of life. Oh my God. The amount of money they would make off that is insane.
yeah,
Insane.
and then you can look like you're actually helping the alliance. Like I forget to click help a lot. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
Like
me
I'm
too.
not that good. I know a lot of people are like professionals. Like the second they see the help, they're like, oh. But for me, I don't really do it all that much. Especially, it's probably worst off because I got so many accounts that I just like it's a nothing. It's a nothing burger unless I see people asking for it in chat and they're like, click help. I'm like, okay,
Okay, fine.
okay, I'm on top of it. Fine then, guys. I'll do my
Fine.
part for once.
Yeah, that's exactly fine. If I have to.
Literally. But I don't know. Yeah, people definitely were on me, and it's kind of funny though, because you'll see people still like complaining in the Discord, like today, for example, right? And it's like, dude, it's not completely banned. Like it's been like a week or two. Like you should know by now that it was just a way ban. People just made new accounts, but
Hmm.
I don't know. They're just like, IGG wants to kill the game. And I mean, like in a way, I get what they're trying to say, but it's like, dude, just make new bot accounts. And to be honest, I actually was told by the guy Thermi who like runs them here. He told me that it's easier to make accounts now apparently than it was like before. So I guess like maybe they said let's slide that in the process. Let's make it easier to make a new account. So when we ban these bots, they can't complain as much as they would.
Well, I will say it was much easier because I mean, in reality, previously you had to get an account to like 200K or something. Like you had to get it past a certain amount of things before you could access it
Join
to
alliance.
alliances and
Drop
stuff. And I think they dropped that limit, so it's a lot earlier that you can do that. So,
I feel like you only have to finish like the tutorial and you're good with it.
and I think you can skip the tutorial now. You must complete tutorial first. You
Yeah,
can skip.
I think it's pretty. Yeah, yeah. The thing is, you have like this stuff around the base that you have to like complete if you want to actually expand your base, but you don't have to do that if you
Nope.
want to click help. It's
Yep,
like, nope,
exactly.
I'm good. Like I think he like what's it called? I could probably find the might on the accounts. Let me check. They're all 50K might, so it's like yeah. So
Have
he's
as many of those as
chilling.
you
Like you
want.
don't.
That's pittance. It's
Yeah,
pittance.
don't even got to keep them for events. Like freaking convenient.
That's right. It's
Like
so much
what do
more
they add up to?
benefit.
Like a million might? Like oh, okay. Like
If
hopefully
that,
that million is what gets you in Apex. Imagine that's what gets you in Apex. That'd be
hey,
brutal. You're like,
don't
God
even
damn.
talk, because the next thing I wanted to talk about today was matchmaking. I don't know about you, but we just had IR come through, and this was by far one of the most unbalanced matchmakings I've seen in a long time. And I wanted to get your opinion on what you think IGG actually, like what their actual thought process goes into their matchmaking.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I know because I congratulated you on such amazing matchmaking. But honestly, thing about matchmaking that's weird is I like have the best matchmaking is probably AR, or a lot of the time it is, at least for me. I
Mhm.
literally almost never have an AR that isn't a good fight. Genesis War is semi there. It's hit or miss for me a lot of the time. I'll get like each round usually has at least one team that can compete with us, and then
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
the smaller teams. So it's kind of like it's a mix of both, right? Like a lot of the time, what we have to do is we have to literally decline the stronger team because we won a good fight, and then we
Right.
take one of the weaker teams and we're like, hey, we're gonna try to carry you to the next round, but usually it doesn't even work, which is sad because they just get pushed so hard. One of the teams actually did hold off and actually managed to make it to the second ring, which was crazy. They actually made it to the third ring because their second ring was freaking, they got like a god tier second ring. I was like, how do you get all the weaker, like the weakest teams
All the winners of
in
the
this
weakest
whole,
team.
like, because we were in Warzone 3, so it's like you literally got all of the like the weakest teams of the strongest teams
Yeah.
somehow, I don't know, and they managed to make it to the last ring, which meant they got the red chest. So I was like, gotta give them a
Jesus.
round of applause somehow for making it there. I didn't think they'd actually make it that far, but yeah, usually we have to pick up a smaller team if we want to actually have a good fight. So
Yeah.
Genesis can be hit or miss. Really depends on your team if you want a good fight. And then Island Raid is really wonky because, for example, last this island raid we had maybe one team that could really compete with us, 60 W6, and they actually gave up really quickly when fighting us because I think they couldn't really do much to our towers. And then there was like a few other teams that had like semi decent like whales, but it just was super unfair. And I mean,
Mhm.
we got ganged up on, but the gang banging only works so much. Like the field fighting, maybe they could do it because we got 4v1 on the field like in the first like after like half a day. They double pushed us on towers. They field fought us like monsters. I was like, what the hell is this? I didn't expect the coordination to be that crazy. That was like the best field fighting we've had in a while.
Yeah, yeah.
And they couldn't do anything on towers because they just didn't have the whale power. You know what I mean? So it's like you just get crushed on that. I didn't really get how you guys landed in GA. I thought we
See,
probably would
that's
have been better off in GA. You
That's
know?
what I'm saying. That's
Like,
the part that didn't get me. So we registered and we were concerned about not making it elite because we were ranked like closer to 254 and we were getting closer to getting knocked out, right? So I think we ended up
yeah,
registering at 229th overall, right? And we registered at 5.3 billion might. So there's no way that we should have been paired against FIB at 6.7 billion, Rifa at 6.8 billion, and INF at 7.1 billion. Like this shouldn't be there. I mean, it's a 20%
funny.
increase.
What's funny is I could actually wait. Let me look at our island raid if I can find the thing. I don't know how to look for it, but I think we registered around like 7.6 maybe, and we landed in G12.
That's what I'm saying. This shit doesn't make sense. What are
Didn't
we
make no
doing
sense.
here?
I don't even get Rifa being there, honestly. I mean, Rifa at least had probably more room, being in that bracket than you guys. But even then, Rifa didn't make sense. Like,
Hey, just
at
give me
least
one
if
second.
we
My
were
wife's
there.
giving me a call. My wife just got home from a travel to the city, so
Oh, that's nice.
it's the negative side to living out in the middle of buttfuck nowhere.
Yeah, she gotta see it rain at least. I don't know.
Snow. What are we talking about? Snow,
Well,
bro.
no, I'm saying if she was in the city. Well, is it snowing in the city too?
Dude, it's snow everywhere. It's not.
Mm-mm.
We we don't got a break. It's not like I get to drive. Well, that's not necessarily true. Like we had a snowstorm, a literal snowstorm that dropped a foot of snow on us overnight just the other day, and that was a crazy situation because you hop on the road and you couldn't see 10 feet in front of your vehicle. And then, say 15 minutes in front, it was totally clear. Everything was fine. So it was just like driving into a wall of snow, which was totally
I don't know how
nuts.
you do it. I dated this girl, and she lived in the like the mountains, so it's like the snow is abundant there. You know
Yeah,
what I
yeah.
mean? Couldn't be me. Couldn't be
Oh,
me.
dude,
It
it's
never
so
snows
much
over here.
fun, though. It's so much fun.
I liked when it snowed at least when I was younger. And
Driving,
then when you get older,
fishtailing, pulling e-brakes, sliding
yeah,
corners,
it's
Tokyo
great.
Drift
It's great
style.
when you're younger when it snows, and then once you're older, you're like, God damn it, it's snowing.
Fucking snow. And then if you don't, like I live out in the country and I'm in the process, my snowblower is currently in the shop getting fixed. When it's not here, that's really a big deal. This year has been very snowy.
Oh, I man, get your animals to eat it up for you, man. You gotta like let them pave the driveway. But
Yeah,
like,
well, if they
you're
ate
here
that
for
much
something.
snow, they'd be frozen icicles. There's so much.
Hey,
There's so
man.
much. I spent so
I
much
mean,
on
somebody
snow
has to do
removal
the
this
job.
year, dude. You have no clue. Like
Oh, it's that bad.
I have two legitimate piles of snow that are as high as the trees in my yard.
Hmm.
Like I'm not kidding when I say I have 4 feet of snow across my entire yard. Like
You better hope summer hits soon, bro.
I'll give you an example. The snow drifts are over and higher than the fence posts in my yard, so my goats can just walk right over the fence. Like, they just don't give a fuck.
The goats are like, finally, we're free.
Freedom! I got a phone call from my neighbor the other day because my goats were for some reason in his yard a mile away.
God.
They had made their way to his place. So he brought them back dragging by a bale of hay.
Hopefully he freaking called you up or even brought them back.
Well, he's good friends with us. He's a good guy.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, it could have sucked if they just, like, they ran loose.
Yeah, and they just pieced out. All of a sudden, they come outside. Where's our goats?
Yeah, you're like,
where's all my money? Where's my money? That's literally what I'm thinking. That's like $600 each. Where's my money?
Oh my gosh. Is that how much it costs to get them, or
No, that's how much because we sell them for food.
make them like annually?
We sell them for food. So when you break them down at the cost per pound, like sometimes you can get them up to. I mean, we typically send them to butcher when they're like, we end up getting like 40, 50 pounds per, and it sells for. Sometimes $10-15 a pound, depending.
Better hope you don't have vegan viewers.
Yeah, go ahead. I eat goats. I eat rabbits. Bring it on. They're the cutest things ever.
You're a killer.
Yeah.
They were like, you're killing them.
Yeah, and you want to hear the worst part about it? My kids are involved too. So like we've taught my kids everything. We used to raise rabbits for meat as well. That's probably the hardest part about the whole thing because rabbits are cute as hell and they're so innocent and there's nothing. A rabbit has never been evil a day in its life. Do you know what I'm saying?
Hey, man. Let them know how good it tastes. But like,
that's my point. They are the sweetest. It's so good.
They're like, they look so cute, but they taste so good.
It tastes so good.
I'm sorry. We gotta send you to the workshop.
Yeah. So it's funny. It's like even when our kids were involved, when we were dispatching them, the hardest part about it is like we want to be as respectful as possible. So we provide the best quality of life we can for these animals. We provide them as much, food, as much water, as much sex, as much everything that they want to live the best. Oh, absolutely. We let the guys and girls go together, man, and let them fucking live their life. Okay. But when it comes time to call or when it comes time to send them to freezer camp, we are also respectful in the process. So everything we do, we spend time, we thank the animal, we bring them, and everything we do is as humane as possible. When we would dispatch rabbit, it's a way that's super quick. And again, don't get me wrong, it is absolutely killing animals and it's a totally different process. My wife is the one who does it because I can't stomach the process of actually killing an animal, right? I got no problem breaking it down once it's already dead. It's the act of, committing the act I can't do. But my wife would do it with the kids and to have them understand that it's all part of the circle of life. And then they would help clean and they'd help break it down and then they would help cook and they would get their pick of the litter or pick of the roast.
That's pretty neat. I mean, yeah, it is a circle of life though. So it is kind of funny. You got your wife to do it. You're like, I'm good off that. And she's like, I don't care.
No, my wife's a sociopath. I totally am aware of this.
She a menace.
She understands that. She's a track star. But no, it was seriously a situation where we raised chickens once and I took part in butchering chickens once. And that was enough for me to say I don't like the feeling of ending anyone's life. Do you know what I mean? Like I don't like the process of that transition from living to not living. But give me a dead chicken carcass and I got no problem breaking it down and gutting it and cleaning it. And because at that point it's food. Previous to that, it's not food. So I'm glad that I have my wife.
That's gonna be my excuse when I'm being interrogated by the police. I'm like, oh no, I couldn't even kill a chicken, guys. Like I couldn't kill a person.
That's right. I couldn't do a person, man. I puked when doing a chicken. What the hell do you think? But I'll be honest, I had a really bad experience when doing the chicken, so I don't want to. Anyways, let's get back to the game.
Okay.
We'll get back to matchmaking.
I don't even know if that's gonna be in the video or not.
Oh yeah, it's all going in, man. This is 100% raw.
Yeah. I wasn't even sure.
What
were you even talking about? Like
we were talking about matchmaking before.
Yeah, I feel like I was gonna say something though specific. Like I don't know, maybe it was just like us in the bracket, but I feel like we would have been better off in G8 for sure. Like
100%.
Although I don't think we would have been able to hold off against INF or anything. I feel like we would have been able to at least hold like a good tower or two. Would have been good fun for us. I haven't really had the opportunity besides Archipelago because last Archipelago we went hard in the defensive. I mean, I know I showed you some reports like off camera, but I never get in like Island raid or anything. Like, come on, bro. I want to freaking be defending for once. Like, we're always on the offensive. It's just like, come on, dude. Like, we did defend for a good little bit this island raid, which is a little bit of fun, but we don't get it for long periods. A little
Don't
sad.
get me wrong, it was fun IR in the sense that like it was interesting to see how it was, because like here's the way I look at it, right? When it comes to Island Raid, I mean, your entire premise is to obviously set yourself up for the best that you can. But when I was reaching out to everybody, and this is a part that actually kind of pissed me off, because like I'm the diplomat of our alliance, so like I'm typically the ones that set up alliances and allegiances and stuff. But every single person that I reached out to set up alliances was like, yeah, sure, we'll let you know. Yeah, sure, we'll let you know, and then never talk to me again. And they were talking to a different R4 of mine who was setting shit up, and like it's like all this time I'm like, but how you talk? But how am I? No, I can't even be a part of this. And nobody allied us until after everybody else had picked their shit. So we basically got set with, well, hey,
Yeah,
how about you guys take us on too?
that's a sad reality of being like the smaller team. Though if it's like a bracket where we feel like we're gonna dominate in, what we do is we try not to ally any of the strong guys and we just ally the weaker teams. And sometimes it's funny because we like ally these weaker teams and then they overperform what we expected and they'll sometimes like hold down one of the other alliances we expected to like give us some trouble. And I'm like, bro, like you're supposed to leave it that for us.
See, and that's
We'll pick out like some of the weaker teams though, just because we won a good fight.
Well, and again, I don't blame FIB because they did the same thing, right? Like they reached out. I think they reached out to INF first and basically said like, we're not going to ally with you because you guys are the strongest. We're going to ally with somebody else, and you guys can pick our allies or whatever. Like you guys can pick the teams for us. And so we ended up just getting relegated to this team. But at the end of the day, it paid off because we ended up getting fourth. So I'm not going to complain.
So funny. He has like the same mindset I have, though. I don't think we would have. I don't know about INF, bro. I don't know if we would. We would have just.
Holy
I don't know.
shit!
I don't know how we would ally that because if you don't ally INF, they're gonna absolutely hammer you on the field. Like they just have too many whales, dude. I don't know. It's kind of similar to TPL in that regard to me. They just like have multiple guys over 1 bill kills.
I have such a respect for these guys. Like just watching them like march across the field to be able to help us out in our last 2 hours against our against Rifa. Don't get me wrong, we were doing okay, but like the trades were never in our benefit. You know what I mean? Like we were never winning the trades, but we were throwing them out there. And that was one of the things that Z had mentioned. He's like, we didn't belong in G8, but we performed like we did, which I thought was a huge compliment. I absolutely take to the bank.
Bro, I don't need no compliments. I need to stay in the lower G. That's what I say.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's true.
I don't know how we landed in G12. That was mental.
It doesn't make any sense. So the matchmaking to me, I can't understand how they do it. I can't understand
landing in like G10 plus. It's funny because you probably know this, or you might not, but if you look at like an hour in advance, you can see your G, right?
Yeah.
So basically what we do is like, we normally expect to land in like, I wouldn't say G5 because I don't think we're like, I don't know, because matchmaking's so wonky that it wouldn't put the top 8 alliances in 1G, but we don't normally expect ourselves to land in the top.
Sure.
Bracket. So we'll expect maybe to be in like G8, G9, seems a little bit more level. But then we go to G8, we're like, we're not here. G9, okay. G10, we're like, are you kidding me? And then we go to G11, we're like, because I get in call with one of my R4s, and we always look at them like right away and just talk about it because I don't know, it's just like exciting. And then we freaking go to G12, and we're like, there's no shot. Like, there's no shot. You know what's funny about 6TW? We freaking looked at these guys. And their 2 whales that they had with them when we were fighting them, they weren't in the alliance at reset. So we literally were like, okay, well, I guess this bracket's gonna be too easy. And then we freaking get in the actual island. Freaking Big Daddy starts random porting around the map, and he's fighting these guys, and they just start porting up, and then we're like,
where'd you come from? What the fuck?
We're like, what the heck? So we were already talking to our allies, and then we changed. Like we ended up deciding to ally a team that was semi-strong because we were like, all right, well, these guys, like, we're not sure if we could beat them 1v1. And the only reason I say that is these guys are actually pretty strong, but we weren't sure about like how it depends on the enemy, right? These guys seem like they might be strong enough and might be active enough to give us like a really annoying endurance fight. Like Fib is the perfect example of an annoying team to fight against endurance wise because they'll stay on all day, all night.
Z doesn't know what sleep is.
All day, all night. And
Z doesn't know what sleep
someone
is.
can like someone should have Z's logins too. So it's like finally Z goes to sleep, and you're like, oh, let's go, and then they wake up and they're like, oh, okay, I got you, Z, and it's like,
Someone
how
had
do you
mentioned
beat that?
that's what I'm saying. Someone had mentioned on the last video that I made, complaining about matchmaking, which subsequently I might just continue doing because people really appreciate complaining against IGG. But someone had mentioned, they're like, oh, just wait for Z to go to sleep, and then himself responded and said, "What sleep?"
Sleep? I
Yeah,
saw that. I
I'm
saw
like,
that.
it's not
Think
how.
about like I actually I do agree. People definitely watch more videos where it's like outrage and stuff. I get more
Yeah.
views and stuff. But honestly, I don't like doing too many of those. I literally complain because I feel like there's always something new to complain about, which is kind
Mm,
of annoying. But I
mm.
try not to just constantly complain because I feel like I don't want to become that one guy who's just making only videos of me
Yeah.
moaning and groaning like, oh, IGG sucks, oh, IGG sucks,
I
oh,
want to
IGG
be.
sucks.
I want to believe that there's so much potential here because, in truth, there is so much potential. I love this game. There's so much beauty to it. But why does IGG just have to drop the ball? Why do they gotta shit the bed so much when it comes to things? Like, why can't they get matchmaking better? Why do they have to be dickheads when it comes to banning bots? Like,
Why
why
can't
can't?
they have tower restrictions?
That's what I'm
Come on now.
saying.
That's I like we've been asking for this for months. I literally yesterday I
Yeah.
just lost my mind at some point. I just go in the mod chat and I add like an admin and I'm like, please tell the developers to
Tower
add a tower
restrictions.
restriction. They actually responded to me, so maybe they'll actually get to the developers. Maybe they'll actually consider it because it's so stupid not to. Because
Yeah.
the issue with it is if you don't do it, you're ultimately forcing your main whales, especially because you think about it, the garrison captain is like normally a whale or it's your top player. So you're literally forcing these guys to potentially spend all day sending troops back that aren't the right
Mm.
unit, right? Which means that they're not in the field. And if they're your main whale, who's probably your strongest guy, he's probably the guy who would have spent the most, would have been the most capable of fighting in the field. Like I'm not joking. Last AR, Big Daddy almost crashed out because he spent like I swear he was spending like hours in the towers just sending troops back. We kept having to mark people's bases and call them like stupid because they kept sending the wrong troops. It wasn't even our alliance. Like we maybe had one guy do it, and that we almost got kicked. But like literally, people would not listen. You'd tag them in chat. You'd freaking mark their base, but like stop sending the wrong troops, stupid. Like you get so annoyed that at some point you're just insulting them. You're like, dude, just stop. You're pissing me off. But like,
I hate it so
how do you
bad when
not
you.
how do you not see a marker over the tower saying range only?
Yeah,
Range
infantry
only.
only, rider
Don't send
only.
anything else.
And I understand. I understand certain prospects. Okay, I understand why you want to have solo troops for rallies, solo troops for garrisons. There's a logical reason as to why you want these things. As to why they also restrict rallies, right? If it wasn't that, I mean, can you imagine if they didn't restrict rallies and you'd have to go through everybody sending troops to your rally to kick them out into? I would never play this game. I think ever again. I think that would be enough.
Yeah,
That's like
insult.
profile. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. You know what I
They're
mean?
like, we gotta. They're like, since people can send multiple marches from one account into a tower, we have to debuff the tower somehow.
Yeah.
So no restriction. It's funny too because I'm pretty sure I've seen like Rise of Kingdoms. I swear I think I've seen a
Yeah.
tower restriction too. Like I'm pretty sure they have it. Like I think I've seen a stream where they had it. I might be wrong, but
No.
eh,
There's other games that have it for sure.
games just
Yeah.
this game is just like I don't know. Like you're behind on the times, buddy. Like you could copy all this other stuff from Rise of Kingdoms, but you couldn't copy a freaking tower restriction. Like
Look,
you have it on rallies, but you can't do it on towers. Like
it's already in your brand new game, you sons of bitches. Put it in your old
do they
one
actually have
too.
it?
I don't know.
Did they
I
actually
don't.
have?
I
was
don't
gonna
know,
say,
but if they did, it would be funny. Everything
yeah,
else is there,
that
man. Everything else is
mean,
there.
that would hint at us that you do plan to introduce it since they want to freaking test out on that game. Like, oh, let's see if
Well,
everybody likes it.
that's that. I mean, that's kind of the way I'm looking at it. And for those wondering, no, this is not paid promotion by IGG, but they did start a new game called Frozen War. That is pretty much the exact same thing as what we're dealing with here, but it's brand new. And I just started dabbling in it. It's weird. It's all in profile. It's really weird. But a lot of stuff
Yeah,
that
I
they do in
can't
that one, they
wait.
do here. They do here.
Imagine they do that on your computer too. Like, imagine you like they force you to play profile mode.
Listen, I
Do they
tried it.
actually?
Yes, I tried it on BlueStacks already. It's in profile. That's what I'm
There's no
saying.
shy, dude.
They don't even
There's
have.
no
Okay, first
shy.
off, they don't even have their own app for it yet, so it has to be done through BlueStacks. And yeah, it's in profile there too.
No,
So
dude. Let me uninstall that. I was actually gonna try it out. You said it's profile, but no. Let
yeah, it's
me.
profile. That's why I'm only been dabbling with it, going like maybe they add, maybe they'll add the feature to make it landscape. You
I don't even know
know?
how they have 4.4 stars off that, bro. That would be an instant 3 stars for me. Like profile mode alone,
Yeah,
you get three
profile
stars.
only.
And then we check out the rest of the features. Like maybe you'll keep your 3 stars, or we'll drop under. Like
Yeah,
profile
exactly.
mode is
It's a nightmare, bro. It's a nightmare. I want to see
on a base
more.
builder. Like,
Yeah, no shit.
I was saying I did play this game Heckfire, that profile mode, but it wasn't like I don't know, like it wasn't as much field fighting and stuff. But I did play it for a while though, so I don't know. I guess I stuck around
See,
long enough to try it out.
it
But
wouldn't
the
be as
bases were also different.
yeah, like it wouldn't be bad on a base builder like a base builder, for example, like Top War, where it's not real field battling. It's just like instant, you know what I mean? Instant reports. It wouldn't probably be as bad there, but like you need that fucking landscape in order to be able to move, in order to be able to strategize on the field. And I could not imagine doing that just like one fingered on a phone.
Yeah, it's super annoying for chat too. Like I hear it.
I couldn't.
I hate it.
I hate the
I
thought,
hate
man. It was looking so good till it was profile, and then I was like, no, no, cut,
Like
cut.
like even Roblox wouldn't force you in a profile mode. Like come on, man. Like you're letting Roblox beat you out, dude. Like are you serious right now?
But I do want to bring it back a little bit because the game has done a couple of interesting things recently. And they are, again, redesigning their meta once more with the release of their new heroes. Have you looked at Rubina and Daryl?
Yes, sir, I have.
So Rubina
Daryl's gonna
and
be so annoying.
Daryl, who is the that panda guy, I think, brought into the game, eh?
Oh yeah, you saw that? You saw what she said? She just said I was well hung as well. Like bro, what? Oh
I'm
my
telling you,
gosh.
it does look like you, though, dude. It does look like you. There's...
I felt a little offended though, because I don't know. Daryl looks a little zesty, bro. Like he looks like he takes it up the cheeks, man. You know what
Oh,
I'm
no
saying?
way. No way.
I don't know. He's got the hand on the hip too. He's like you seen Daryl, bro. I'm telling you, bro. He looks a little zesty to me. I can't do it. I can't be compared to Daryl.
Just a little
You can't do
spicy, hey?
Yeah, it looks
Look,
spicy, dude.
I got compared to Hank, okay, so or Peter, so that's a whole different comparison, you know.
I mean, they're gonna start telling you that you were the design of Peter. It's
Yeah,
like, I won't even play in the game yet. No, you're an industry plant. Actually, I can see it. I'm looking at it now. I can.
That's what I'm saying, right? Does it not look? I look like I look like Peter. I'm not. It's
No.
not even a
Now,
little bit.
now you just need a cigar. Now you just need a
Big
cigar.
fucking
for
beefy
that.
arms and cigar. Yeah, no shit. You got me.
Well, you can put on sleeves and just act like you got it. You know,
Yes.
just like
I don't need to be that
I'll
big. That
work
guy's
out.
sick.
No, I don't know. I've definitely never gotten the hand on the hip, dude. I'm telling you, it's zesty, dude, bro.
That's
I
what
can't
gets
do
you
it.
zesty is the hand on the hip.
I can't. Like it literally is that. Not to mention his little goggles. I mean, though, to be fair, that's not.
You know what
Ain't all
gets
bad,
me?
but-
You know what gets me that I don't understand in the character design? Look at his feet. Why does he have little double skis on each boot?
I think it's because he is like he does look like a skier or whatever, right? I mean, you also look at it like his goggles or whatever. Those are kind
Sure.
of the things that you would wear for skiing and stuff.
Yeah, but he's on a skidoo. That's what you'd be doing on a skidoo or a sled, for sure. But why would you have skis on your boots on a sled?
Well, he is in the apocalypse, dude. He can't just like he can't have like little like he has to have them on the ready. You know what I mean? Like he's probably living out somewhere in the mountains, and he's like, "Oh shoot, a zombie's chasing me," and he just starts skiing down the mountain. Like,
Where on our map
just
do
like-
we have snow, bro? Where? We're on
Hey, man.
desert and
well, this guy is living in the apocalypse. Okay, he's not living the kind of life that we're living. He's not living on the map. You know what I mean? He comes
Yeah.
from a far place. They recruited him. You got to remember that they recruited him from a snowstorm. They probably picked him up.
they got him from
the
Frozen War.
Oh my gosh. Yo, you know where they probably got Hank from? They probably got him from freaking that Viking game, bro.
Oh,
They just
no
threw a
shit.
sticker in his mouth and told him to look a little more polished.
Oh man, I'm laughing. They got him from Frozen War. No,
That
but
was a
seriously,
good one.
yeah, I thought so too. But seriously, I'm really excited for Daryl. I think riders need a little bit more AOE impact. I think he's gonna be.
It's gonna be so annoying for us, dude. We're so range based on Garrison.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be annoying, especially because he like debuffs from like 3 marches, so it's like AR. It's all 3 rallies, bro.
But here's the thing. Have you
yeah.
seen what his actual hitbox is? So I did some testing. Did you see what his actual hitbox is?
Explain what you mean exactly. I kind of think I get what you're saying, but
So-
like,
so if
I've
you
seen
look
what
at-
you mean, like it's kind of random though, isn't it? Like I've literally had to hit multiple areas.
Right. So if you look at Miyamoto, for example, he hits in a fan or a semicircle.
Mhm.
Right. If you got the
Yeah,
skin,
yeah,
it's a
yeah.
semicircle. And when the skill triggers, you can see that hitbox in the shape being appeared. Right.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I seen his rectangle. If that's what you mean.
So have you seen the rectangle? Because I have yet to actually see the rectangle.
I've seen it. I've seen it. I mean, I think there was even a picture.
Because I
But
haven't seen the
yeah,
rectangle, but I did some testing, and it turns out that the rectangle is not oriented the
it's
way that you think it would. It's
yeah, yeah, yeah.
long.
You would think it'd be forward. It's literally like long in front of you or whatever. It's like
Right.
off to directions. You know what I mean? Like
It's
at
it's
first I
not
thought it was
like
like Chun shooting it directly forward, but no,
yeah.
it literally hits in I think different directions, which is weird. Like I
Well,
don't think it's like a specific side that it hits into.
it's I mean, I did testing with multiple troops to see which ones they're hitting, and it's literally in a rectangular like they would with Chun. The only difference is Chun only targets 2, right? So she'll only hit 2 that are straight ahead, whereas he will hit 3 within this target. But the box, instead of what you would think it to be, which is more of a landscape side where it would be hitting wider than it is hitting longer, no, his hits longer than it hits wide. So in my opinion, it's less effective because you're not
Yeah,
going
I
to
agree.
have near as many like people like blocked together, stacked on top of each other lengthwise. They're going to be stacked sideways.
Yeah, it's gonna have to be in a freaking big murder ball if you want to really utilize this stuff like that.
Right. So like
Crazy to me
even
though.
in a rally, for example, even in a rally, I mean, he's really only going to be hitting the tower and like not really much else. You know what I mean? Like it's not
Yeah,
like he's
unless
going to
you're
be hitting
fighting
a
around
white.
the tower.
That's
Which is
right.
actually something that's now I think is interesting because with the best one of the best parts about like I've been loving at these Ethan Lewis towers is like fighting under it and then dragging people into it. But like if you do that now, you're also taking the risk at getting hit by the actual rally. Though I will say it's still more deadly to get hit by the tower than getting hit by the rally because
Mhm.
at the end of the day, one, you're only taking injuries, and two, the towers just like the AOE is probably more prominent and you're freaking getting you're getting like a percent dead as well. I don't know.
Mhm.
It's still worse off, but it does kind of counteract, I guess, some of that like abuse that people might take advantage of. One thing I also noticed is like the if you're using like Rubina rallies, I think she had like a what's it called when flanked by more than 3 squads, it reduces damage taken, blah, 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 right?
Mhm.
So it's gonna make it so annoying to swarm these out as well,
Mhm.
which is even
Mhm.
more annoying because like we usually try to swarm out these freaking rider rallies just because riders aren't like the squishiest, but riders are relatively within like a squishy range
Yeah,
compared to like
they're in that mix of the middle ground.
yeah, so you can swarm it out and get pretty good trade offs. So that makes it a little bit more annoying. I mean, I still think you'll be trading pretty well if you're on the same level of the rally, but it's still just kind of annoying to have
So
that feature.
do you think that Rubina and Daryl are going to be the new like just how Ethan kind of took over in regards to his position being able to run rallies and garrisons? You think Rubina is going to be doing the same thing?
I don't know about Garrisons. I don't think Garrisons at all. She is gonna be freaking probably really annoying on rallies, especially Daryl though. Like honestly think Daryl is more effective than she is just because of his AoE like
Mhm.
reduction. Like that's gonna be so nasty, dude. I'm not
That's
looking
true.
forward to
That's
that at
true.
all.
I think because of the fact that range has such a monopoly on, on that AOE damage, that'll be a nice little hindrance to them. It's about
Yeah, I
time though.
think
Range has been too high for too long. It's in my opinion, they've been doing too much damage. They need to be humbled. It's a fair exchange.
I mean, you also think about this. This is literally AoE damage in general. So like, even in just field fighting, you're messing up like Miyamoto. You're messing up Lee. You're messing up Lewis. You're messing up
Mm-hmm.
any AoE heroes. You know what I mean? So it's just like,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you really think about it. You're also kind of messing up Daryl because he's also got like a area of effect skill.
Is
So you're
his
debuffing another Daryl, right?
yeah, but
I mean, his is considered area of effect, right? Your
but yeah, you
actual
would probably debuff the other Daryl for sure.
Yeah, imagine just Daryl v Daryl, and you're just both debuffing each other's AOE, which is kind of
The
interesting.
damage
Because
just like
I
tick,
think
tick, tick,
someone
tick, tick,
tried
tick, tick.
using him on Garrison, which actually might be effective when you think about it. Because since he does reduce actual AOE damage, you're actually
Mhm.
like might actually be a pretty good Garrison, like Chase here. I
Yeah,
don't know if you
Chasey.
ever
I
seen.
think Chasey Daryl will be.
Kind of interesting to see
Yeah,
for
it'll be interesting.
sure.
But this is my point. When we talk about matchmaking, I think balance is also a topic that kind of comes into that. If what we're seeing is that these new heroes are such dominance, like I'll give you a prime example. You look at Ethan; he's a garrison hero, right? So why is he running rallies and doing well running rallies? That's just it doesn't make sense to the balance mechanics. Like Chasey's a garrison hero. Why is she running rallies? Hence why they came out with Rubina to give her a different response. But you look at Stella. Stella is a rally hero. Why is she running garrisons? Like why?
I did not see her becoming a garrison hero at all. Like
that's the thing.
She's a top G out here.
They redesign everything and the meta changes so drastically. As soon as they release that, now all of a sudden that hero is the only one that matters.
Yeah, I'm waiting to see what these new infantry heroes look like. People are probably investing in Stella. Like, I need a good garrison, and then you're gonna have freaking, I don't even know, some Viking from Norway come in and be like, I take over the tower now. I rally now.
I'm so excited, bro. I am so excited for the next infantry hero.
I know Z's excited. Freaking Z is like probably exhilarated every time an infantry hero comes out. That guy is a freaking demon.
Yeah,
he's fighting.
You're telling me
we actually haven't had to fight him yet. We've only had him on the enemy team once in an archipelago raid, and they lost to our allies, who I'm pretty sure actually were losing to them. But Z's like, he had like 2 alliances, I think, like not really actually fighting at all in his legion. So they ended up losing because of that. Like we kind of got lucky.
I was in that one. You remember that one? I was in that one.
Yeah. Freaking Rogue, dude. Rogue was a monster.
He's a machine, bro. He's a machine.
Oh my gosh. Rogue's the worst player I've ever fought against, probably.
Yeah, he's the only reason why we were able to do what we did in that one, and at all in fighting.
We would honestly don't know if we would have won if we didn't do the nighttime, or not even nighttime pushes, but like just waiting for him to catching him offline, because he's so hyperactive that you have like a very slim window to catch this guy offline. We saw he didn't show up for one chainsaw zombie, and I said, we're building right now. I saw he didn't show up. Bro, we could have zeroed him too, is what's crazy, but nobody was freaking wanted to rally. Nobody wanted to join the rallies. Is like, I think everybody was burned out from fighting already. I was like, damn, like that would have been a cool.
It's also, I think it's also to look at it. I think it's also a look at it where you're like, it's a hard nut to crack. I mean, what's the cost of having to burn out Rogue? You know what I mean? Like, what's the cost on troops? What's the cost on resources?
I mean, look at Save Me, dude. He was in G2, and I was looking at G2. I actually kind of wish I recorded that. I don't really record big fights anymore, like G1 and stuff, but I probably should have recorded that one. That was a really crazy one. But I don't know if you saw Save Me. Their team started pushing within the last hour or so. Save Me was nowhere to be seen. He's literally sitting where his tower got burnt probably hours before. Like this guy, I swear he doesn't like log off. I don't think I've ever seen the guy shield offline. I'm pretty sure he actually logs off in these areas, and no won't try to zero him. Those are the 500 million players. They'll never zero Save Me. I think they're just like, yeah, he's got too much money. He don't care, and he's got like probably one of the best garrisons in the game. So it's like,
well, I mean, and 62 million troops. I mean, that's a garrison just by itself.
He was down to 900 mil, so he might have been down to like 500 mil or something.
But still, I mean, being down to 50 million troops is still a nut to crack. I don't think I've ever seen. Have you seen someone break 50 million troops?
I mean, I'm sure they could do it if they really tried to. I mean, you saw them breaking 500 million plus players. Like they literally did it in G1 day one. They did it again, I'm pretty sure, in G1 maybe. And I know G2 they killed Markstar. It was like almost 600 million. They freaking zeroed him out.
That's true. I mean, it's not impossible.
Pyro. Did you see Cyro get zeroed in G1?
Yeah,
that was over 500 mil as well.
Yeah,
dude, they like, and the rallies weren't even doing that bad. You just need to be a really strong alliance with good fillers. I mean, and the thing about bases is, I don't think a lot of people realize this. You're gonna be trading well, I guess, because you're stacked on a lot of troops, but you're gonna actually be trading worse in a sense than you would like on a tower. I mean, in this case, when you have like 50 million troops, you're trading better, but you're going to generally be trading worse because you're a mix of troops, right? And mixing troops just doesn't trade well as good as like normally would, right? I don't know if you know this, like if you had like a base that's focused on one thing and one thing only, like if you literally did not train no infantry, didn't train like no range, whatever the case, and you only had like riders, only had like range, you trade far better with like the 5 million troops than someone with like a mix of whatever with 5 million troops. Just like something to know, you know what I mean? I don't know why I even talked about that, but it's something that's kind of interesting. I think I've seen one base before that didn't train anything else at all. You gotta flex the little goat.
I got a little goat. I got a little
goat. See his little tail.
This goat's name is Petunia. Nope, this one's name is Turnip.
Oh, I see you got your little, is that your dog down there? I see your dog
Yep.
behind you or
My
whatever.
dog is
Little
looking for the
tail wagging.
goat.
Yeah, he's gotta keep track of them.
That's right.
The
He focus
he's
on
the
them.
herder.
Sorry, animal break.
Oh, this is just like staring out the window over here. I mean, you can see his little tail flapping.
Yeah, yeah, he's going crazy for something. Is it the rain?
No, it's because I freaking reached over to him, so he gets happy. You like reach over and he's like, "Oh,
Attention! Oh, he's such a big boy. So, anyways, let's
he's
talk about
he's
Rubina bringing her wolf to the field.
mm. Oh yeah, transcending her. I love freaking all these transcended heroes, dude. Always a new one every single month. New one I
I
can transcend.
I don't even have one, and there's like 17 of them now. Like, what the fuck? What are we?
Yeah,
Oh, hey, I
I
don't mean to interrupt, but I do have to bring something up because it just came to mind. Did you do the questionnaire for the beasts yet?
I have not. I didn't even check it really. I didn't care enough to. What is it?
So there's
Is it?
there is a questionnaire for the beast. It's like 3 questions or whatever. It's basically like, what do you think about it? But one of the responses is if you didn't like, if you don't like it, which I don't like the beasts. I think the beasts have been a totally abysmal release. But they're like, well, why didn't you like it? And one of the reasons is because it's happening too quickly. It's too fast. So I'm telling everybody, go do that thing, hammer that fucking and when they give you a place to say, just tell them to slow down, right? Slow down. In that questionnaire, slow down.
Yeah. I can at least always give them props though for making sure that beasts aren't too impactful. I mean, besides garrison and rallies, which means that like your whale's gonna have to focus on it. But I can appreciate that. That's the only thing I can appreciate. But yeah,
can we
pumping them out this
honestly
fast.
hold on a second? Let me ask you a question though. Honestly, do you think that the beasts, even in rallies and garrisons, are impacting as much as we think they are?
Me personally, I don't even care for them all that much. Like even in garrisons and rallies, but I will say like the only place they are really gonna impact is garrisons and rallies. You get what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, but that's
like
only
at
because
least
we see big damage numbers. Are they really dealing that? Like, are they really influencing that many troop loss?
I believe so, but I don't think it's as much of an impact as people think it is. Like I remember someone shared like a report. I forget when it was, but it was like when Beast originally released, and they were like, "Look at all this damage. Look at how the rally traded against this base," and they tried to like blame the Beast, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure the rally just got slapped because the rally got slapped. I don't think the Beast carried it. Not to mention Beast had literally just come out, so both of them were pretty balls. But
Well,
first one
I'll
was
give you a prime example. I've got two accounts that are like they both have about the same 3.8, 3.9 garrison. One's a Raigoro Riven, one is the Thunder Riven. Both awakened. One's Raigoro Riven awakened, one is Thunder Riven awakened. The other difference is the beasts. The other one doesn't have any garrison. It's like a level 60 garrison beast that's like level like +7 or something on its potential or something like, so it hasn't done anything. And the other one is a level 90 pangolin, almost fully awakened, like almost fully potentialed and everything. And I looked at the report differences, and one does an incredible amount of beast damage and one does nothing for beast damage. But the one that did nothing for beast damage still traded better.
Yeah,
So
I don't know too much on it though. Thing is, like, if I feel like Z would actually know because I feel like I watched his stream and he said something, and I can't remember what it was, but I think someone had like a comment where they said like 35% or something. Like, I don't think it has that much of an impact on like the trade-off, but I don't know. That's what Z maybe said. I don't really know, but honestly, he probably would know because that guy gets down to the numbers to the freaking T. I
yeah,
don't know how he does
I've
it.
seen some of his when he goes through those reports crazy like the guy's a number machine. Calculator.
Dude, he's different, dude. He's different. He's got it. He's got it all up in here.
And you know what? I give him
can,
credit. He's got one hell of an alliance. I'll tell you that too. You know.
Thing about his alliances that's so annoying too is like, especially because he's an infantry main. Like they're pretty good on the field, but they lose a lot of the time to like these bigger teams like INF for example, or even Dawn, right? And they actually beat Dawn in AR. They beat that Legion. And they had zero field control, literally zero on the rally or anything, and they don't care because they can still just smash your towers. They're like, well, what does it matter? We're just gonna like they're so garrison and rally based that they just have no regard for like field control or anything. I mean, they'll control the field if they can, but if they can't,
They don't
call
need
it a
to.
day.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they're just like, well, F it. You know what I mean? Like we have because they're just built so hard on garrisons and stuff, which is, fair because it's the most crucial thing in the game, right? If you can control a garrison, control rallies, you win the event at the end of the day. But
That's true.
field can be very detrimental because I will say in like AR or something, if when they were fighting, when they were fighting Dawn and them had complete field control. If they just swarmed rallies out, I think it was Don TPL in them. If they just swarmed all the other rallies out that wasn't Z's, like that weren't infantry rallies, they probably could have traded much better. And they weren't actually taking advantage of that as much as they could have. But field control is very detrimental in like cases like these. But
Mm-hmm.
like when you're as rally based as these guys are, they don't really care. They're just like, F you guys.
I mean, when you have the setups and the armaments that he has, and when you have the hyper focus that he has, I mean, arguably Z has one of he has one of the best garrisons in the game, especially for his like his might level and stuff like that. And a lot of that comes from the fact that, like you said, he just knows his numbers really well. He dives deep onto all those kinds of stuff, and he finds comfort. I think he finds comfort in understanding the numbers better than everybody else, because it makes him efficient. It does. I've seen him in action. It makes his shit efficient, and you can't fault a guy for that.
Yeah, I think he's just a fan of looking at the numbers, though. I think he mentioned it before. That's like one of the things he just loves about games, on like being able to break stuff down. I'm like, hey man, that's all you. That's all you. You can get the information back to me when you're done breaking it down.
Yeah, just send me
you can tell me.
Just CC me on that email.
Just send me the Google Doc.
Yeah, that's right.
Just send me the Google Doc after you're done.
Well, and like I said, the guy's, and he's so nice that even as he's kicking your ass, he's like just pleasant about it. You know what I mean? Like, it's okay. Don't worry. Here's a good way to, make sure that you don't lose so bad next time. And he just pleasantly kicks your ass.
He can just share the report to you. He'll just share the report of him like actually like whooping the field on you, and I'll be like, "Oh, it's all right. It's all right. You could have traded a little bit better, but I annihilated you.
Yeah.
I would have still probably annihilated you, but you put in some effort. I gotta rub you on the back for that. I mean, you saw the meme I sent. That's like, that's literally Zine.
It's like punching you in the face.
I mean, it's
okay. It's fine.
It was like freaking no. I mean, have you watched Invincible?
No, it's one I want to. I want to see it so bad. I do. I just haven't taken the time to watch it yet.
The Conquest clip was perfect. The freaking, it's okay. You got this. You got this. You like he's trying. The thing is, Conquest is like an absolute maniac for like fights and stuff. So he was basically trying to make sure Invincible would like fight him to the death. He's like, I want you to struggle. I want you to try to beat me. I want you to feel like you have a chance to beat me. Like, that guy's a menace.
Just playing with you.
He was hyping him up. He's like, come on, bro, you got this. And he's like, maybe I need to give you some encouragement. So he looks at like civilians running off to the side, like as if he's gonna kill them. So Invincible's like holding the guy down. He's like, no, don't leave me. Keep beating me up. Don't kill them.
Don't hit them. Target me.
Yeah, and then Z, like, I've seen this. I like literally he did this in the island with like TPL Don and them that I was talking about. He pushed them and took their checkpoint, right?
Mm-hmm.
He didn't push them back to helipad. He didn't push them any further. And I think he wanted to encourage them to 2v1 them, which honestly, I feel like they still would have 2v1 them if they were behind like the checkpoint. I'm like, bro, just push them behind the checkpoint. The other team's going to build over. These guys are going to be in a really awkward spot having to break through their own checkpoint, like place a really awkward tower. You guys could, you could like maximize your kills, and they do end up getting pushed back to their own helipad. Or actually, Z and them, they get literally pushed to one tower, and it's Z's garrison, and they couldn't break the garrison. They couldn't break the tower, so they gave up. And then Z's team literally pushes back through the next day and just kills both legions. So we're just sitting there like, just watching it all like from across the map, just eating our popcorn. Like, oh well, I guess this is already decided, huh?
Thank God it's happening over on that side.
They know TPL and them are probably stronger than we are. I mean, not even probably. TPL definitely would beat us in a 1v1. Like,
yeah.
There's too many whales. Can't spread them. Can't fight them in multi towers.
And that's probably why I give FIB a lot of credit, because they're not out here like a lot of alliances looking for the easy win. They'd rather have a harder win. You know what I mean? So like they would rather be out there and fight it specifically.
I mean, you mentioned it perfectly earlier that they were like, you said they told INF like, we're not gonna ally you guys because you're stronger.
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna pick these guys, and then you can pick whoever else you want.
Yeah.
I was surprised when INF and Horrors were allied. I was like, oh yeah, FIP's probably cooked, but they held freaking well. Like they were, and INF is like Russian. So they kept catching them there in their down hours as well.
I cannot give enough thanks to INF and HORS and Horrors. Like Trojan Horse and Inferno, both of them were quintessential in like great allies to work with. And I think it's one of these rare things where all of a sudden you have a scenario where having to work with people is often difficult, especially when, you know, they're way above us in regards to ranking. So we're basically just scratching at the heels going, hey, you want to carry us with you? Can you want to, you know, carry us along, throw us in your backpack? And they were nice enough, you know, to say yes. And even in that, you know, in that acceptance, sacrificed a lot. Like I said, in the last 2 hours, Rifa pushed into us, really pushing to take our 6 away, or cut us at least from our 7, which would have made us lose 4th place. And subsequently, and I do have to leave a question out to Z if he ends up watching this. I don't know why he didn't push us as well. They could have easily pushed us off the 6 and 7 quite simply. And because of the fact that we were behind the mountain, they wouldn't have been able to have the help from INF and Horse. But you know, this is a different conversation for another time. I don't know why he didn't. But even in that last push, I mean, we had INF in our battlefield across the map the whole 2 hours, consistently resending troops that whole long walk, you know, to come back to our area to help fight. And there's no way we would have been able to win. Like, even the trades, like I said, we were trading okay, but we weren't ahead of it by any stretch. There was no us winning those trades.
Yeah, I feel like we kind of do that as well. I don't know, like and honestly, I feel like I don't know, maybe I feel like a deeper like ally duty or something. Like I ally with you, so I feel like I'm required more so to actually support you. So we actually try to help our allies a lot, like with field control if we can, as long as it's not like this last matchup was actually rough. Or not even this last one. 2 island raids ago, for example, we had like Nelly, right? And they were getting sieged by this group called FZ. And literally, their 3 allies all dropped helipads and just poured up. And we're like, bro, how are we supposed to field support you guys at all with like 4 alliances absolutely obliterating anything we send? Like, we would send counter rallies because we even dropped a helipad to try to help. We couldn't even send full freaking counter rallies because we're, you know, like our helipad had been destroyed and stuff.
Yeah.
And these guys are just freaking eating everything up. They're just nom 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 on our rallies. I mean, we weren't munching them up though. Like we had like 1 million damage on each of the swarmers, but it was like, bro, we couldn't drop the rallies. Like they just kept freaking ego swarming everything. Like, come on, dude.
Well, and that,
Yeah,
and
I
I
don't
think
know. I feel like,
I was just gonna say it's. I mean, it's one of those things, especially when you're talking about you know, field control, being able to swarm out those rallies. Even, you know, you have any idea how dehumanizing it is? You send out this rally and you're feeling all good about it, and all of a sudden it gets swarmed out, and you're like, I feel bad about it now. There's nothing I could like.
yeah,
How does ego play?
yeah, you just have a mega whale. You just have a mega whale come walk down and just say, "Oh, time to eat this rally."
Nom, nom,
I
nom.
think if you have a good Stella, it's so annoying though. Like I hate fighting teams with a good Stella because how are we supposed to help y'all swarm these rallies out, bro? Because we're hurting ourselves. We're breaking our back for you guys. Like I don't know.
Stella's like,
It's
yeah,
weird.
rally me, come on, bring it on, all of it,
We have
bring
this
it.
guy. We have this player with like a 6.5 Stella, and it's actually kind of weird because our people will swarm it like Big D's like Ethan, right?
Yeah.
And they'll swarm the Stella, and I mean they'll still trade negatively on the Stella, but like somehow our Ethan like rally trades better. I mean, I get Big D's Big D, but like our Stella rally isn't weak. I don't know if like the range is just that strong or whatever. If it's just melting swarmers that freaking fast. Like it's mental.
Well, Ethan did bring a whole new level to the game, I think, in regards to that garrison damage. Like, Ethan Lewis, for example, is just stupid amounts of damage. And, like, don't get me wrong, it's nice to see Lewis having more of an impact now, right? Still being able to give up that OG shine, but it's just toxic how much damage comes out so quickly. You can't even set out a counter rally in time by the time your rallies are already at half HP by the amount of HP, you know, damage going out.
It's mental, dude. I mean, bro, this island raid, we were fighting. So we basically, I mean, I know I talked to you about it, but we had like gotten 3v1'd at some point, right? So we had pushed 2 teams back to their village because we were kind of worried about them because they were like really fighting at our side and we were worried about the coordination. So we wanted to be able to give ourselves breather room. So we push these guys back to their village and we take the 7 and we start building up towards mid. And basically 6TW started building towards us and we actually saw how they were building and they were angling towards trying to, I guess, beeline towards our 7. So we started actually building towards them because we basically we woke up, right? And we see the guys near the villages start building their towers. 6T didn't build at all, but we already knew. We were like, yeah, these guys are about to push us. Like, if these guys are both building at the same time, we know you guys are going to build. So we start building towards 6T right away because we want to start intercepting them because you want to make sure that they're built, like, you want to build directly into a team like this. So that, so it's awkward, right, to build around. I mean, obviously it'd be awkward for us as well, but given that we're going to get 3v1, we don't want to have to spread ourselves into too many fronts without making it to where it's like, You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you want to
Yeah.
make
Yeah.
it to where they're building awkwardly. So we build directly into them while also trying to cut them off. So they can only really build into 2 of our towers. And basically, they start speed building after they see us building for a little while, and we see them do that. So we activate our own speed building skill. And by the time they drop their tower, we're dropping our next tower, and we have like 5 minutes on our tower. Tell me why they have two mega whales, right? 200, 300 mil guys.
Mhm.
They both poured up, and Big D's building with his Ethan, right? So like we're like, okay, they're gonna have to send a rally. These two guys just walk up and they just start ego swarming. They start ego swarming the tower, bro. Each march dropped like 2 mil might, doing like 100 to 200k damage, bro. They were trying so hard, and they just kept sending fresh marches, fresh marches, fresh marches. I'm like, you guys are something else. Like,
The points,
you guys are
man.
different.
The points.
Yeah,
The
we were
points.
having the time of our life.
No
And
doubt.
what's even the garrisons are so insane too, because the area of effect, like you said, like they sent we had a counter rally. Did I ever send you the counter rally picture? I don't know if
Which
I sent it to you.
which one?
It was 3 to 50 mil damage.
Yeah,
Did I
yeah.
ever send that to you?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we had that, right? And they counter rallied our counter rally, like a Bodala one, and it just starts eating AoE damage on our. I don't know why they sent a Bodala rally, but it was started. The point is they started eating AoE damage on their counter rally. That went on our counter rally because of our freaking Ethan Garrison. So
Where
they
it's
had to
stacked
cancel
up?
the rally. Yeah, like because of where it's positioned, and they
Yeah.
also can't even swarm our counter rally because if they swarm our counter rally out, they start taking area of effect damage
Mm-hmm.
from the freaking tower. So
Mm-hmm.
we try to, and it's also like it's also funny because you start swarming their rally, and if they want to kill like like maybe if your marches like circle properly, they can kill the swarmers on the outside. But if you just keep your marches under the tower and they try to like kill your swarming marches, well, there your marches go, right? You have to be a literal whale to want to fight under an Ethan tower, and like it's so annoying. It's so annoying if you're playing against a smart whale who's gonna keep freaking abusing that. We love
Mm-hmm.
abusing that. We were abusing that, and we had like a because you've even mentioned it, the trade thing at the top of the report.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, how we traded on the tower, right? It was like 40 million damage on the enemy side and like 50 million on our side, right? So it was bad on the tower trade.
Sure, sure.
And the overall trade was 1 to 1.36, right?
Oh,
So we
that's actually
literally
not too
traded
bad.
that much better. Yeah, no, we traded
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah.
Traded really good because we kept pulling them under the AoE. They also had swarmed our tower and stuff, so they just like they were getting obliterated, right? It's like every AoE hits like 500k damage, 500k damage, 500k damage. It's bad. It's even more deadly when you think about like fillers and stuff. If you're like multi-rallying a tower and then it, like circles the tower, I guess, and you have to like fill from through it, you're also taking like you're dropping half a march to trying to fill. I don't know. I love AoE towers though. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's the best thing.
Yeah, for
The
you,
best
it's
thing to
not
build.
beautiful trying to break them. It's not beautiful trying to crack
Oh, it
them.
sure ain't. It sure ain't because your rally dies too fast. Like you can't
Yeah.
build. It's so hard to keep a freaking rally up attacking those things. I don't even know how they did it to us for so long, eating our counter rally and hitting an Ethan tower like that. And I mean, like you saw the damage on the freaking rally, but I don't know how they kept that thing alive so long. They kept it alive for over 10 minutes on us, and it was like that team. They burned out after that though. They couldn't fight us anymore. They said, yeah, you guys win. We're gonna just go back to our 7. GG. I was like, bro, you can't be kidding me right now.
I did feel, however, I'll be honest with you, I felt so we ended up fighting FIB. There was one interaction, so I had to wake up at like 2 o'clock in the morning because the allies were like, we're gonna fight at 7 UTC, and I'm like, 7 UTC is so early for me. But fuck it, I'll wake up and we'll go through this attack. And so I recorded it, and as we're fighting, FIB is basically fighting off 3 of us. They've got Hors that had built all the way across to them. They had INF who had INF who had built down to them, so they were fighting them on 2 fronts at the front. And then we came around behind, going towards their 6, trying to poke them off there. And so they just
a little bit of their guys.
That's right, just a thorn in their side. That's my entire goal. I knew that we couldn't beat him head on, but if I could do anything, just distract him in like a sliver. You know what I mean? Like I would be fine being a sliver.
You know, I notice a lot of teams don't do this enough. They'll like, and I don't get why. Even if you're not gonna take a rally, right? Even if so there's so many teams where like the main teams are fighting, right?
Mhm.
And there's like like let's say they got your village or something. You can literally start building just to make these guys come down, walk down your tower, rally your tower, waste multiple minutes, right? And you can just empty the tower out when they hit because if you know you're going to get crushed by it, why take the rally? But why not try to place towers? If you're not going to use this in some sort of meaningful way, you
Mhm.
could at least drop towers, and basically force these guys to waste multiple minutes to come over there, have people filling the rally, etc. Right? And like, and if they do allow you to get the tower down, you're still going to be more annoying because you're going to have, even if you don't defend the tower, that's 20 minutes or so. They have to actually have proper garrisons in those towers to make sure that you're not putting pressure over there, focusing over there. I don't really get why more teams don't try to at least like do little bait strategies like that or anything. I don't know.
So I mean that was kind of exactly what we ended up having to do at the end when we were fighting Rifa, because they started pushing into us, and we noticed that if they had taken our 6, we would have been disconnected from everything and we would have lost everything. So we literally had to fight the last 2.5 hours until, the last half an hour, last 40 minutes, when they realized that they wouldn't be able to burn through anything. A lot of that came from not only eating the rallies that we had to, but just like you said, also placing strategic towers in like double layering defenses, triple layering towers. So now I've got like 4 towers that are all sitting within the same proximity to each other, so that even if they do take one, that's fine. Burn one, you still have to burn through 3 or 4 in the other process.
In your scenario, I would have just built directly into them as they were coming at us, because they'd be like, well, now you gotta burn through all these towers and it's gonna just take you too long. I wouldn't even have to defend at that point. I'd be like, all right, I'm gonna call it a day now, good night. And they're just like burning through all your towers, like, well, you need this 6. I actually saw something crazy. I was looking through the brackets right before Island Raid ended, and this was insane because I don't know how these guys lost or how this happened to them. But I saw this team. It was like maybe G11 or G13 or something like that. I freaking look at this bracket, and there was this team that had 2 6s and 2 7s, right? They probably had second place. Bruh, they got cut off last minute. They got their 7 taken, so they got cut off from the other 7 that was across the map. They got their, like, the tower got burnt, so they couldn't even connect to it in time. I was like, no freaking shot. They probably dropped to like 4th or 5th place because of that. That was insane to see, bro. And they just got robbed. They got completely robbed.
Well, I'll tell you,
the whales went to sleep last minute.
Yeah, I'll tell you. I mean, it was one of those last situations where we were looking at it and we were pushing Rifa at their top point, going back to their 6 from the 7, and they used their speed, their build speed or whatever, and all of a sudden you look at it and they've got 7 towers or 6 towers coming towards us, cut on the other side of the mountain, building straight into us. And at that time, because we were so focused on the front line, not the back line, there wasn't enough time to build into them. So I was like, okay, quick, throw down towers. We got 300,000 cement. We're going to make sure that we put 300,000 cement in their way.
You were sitting on that freaking cement like crazy. But to be fair, like what use do you really have for it at that event? You know what I mean? You're just
not to
there,
mention,
like, staring at it.
Not to mention, there was literally nothing we could have done anyways. Like, we built to our 6, we built to our 7. FIB cut us off entirely from everything else by building directly across to the opposing 7, so we couldn't cut through them. We couldn't cut through Rifa. We were just kept in our own little thing, so we had 3 days of sitting on the front line.
I'm surprised you guys didn't do more nighttime pushes on Rifa when Deadeye went to sleep or whatever, because honestly, you guys probably could have actually hurt them, because I feel like Deadeye was their only like real big guy, right?
But he never, like, anytime he was off and anytime we would push, we'd get like 1 or 2 towers, and then he would come back and they would repush us back 2 towers. So like anytime we had any movement speed, all of a sudden he was back within 15-20 minutes.
I hate that mess, bro. That's exactly how I play though. I had to set alarms to like check in, because I know teams like waiting for like me to go offline. So I'm like, all right, I'll let you guys catch me offline for like 30 minutes, but I'm gonna be back.
And so many of those damn hillbillies.
That happened to us so much during our last AR. They literally would always push right when we went to sleep. Like, we would have, like, I would like literally, I would be going to sleep and I'd check in and I just see these guys pushing, and then we jump over, defend a tower, they stop, and then you go back to sleep, and then you see them push you back another tower when you wake up. I'm like, bro, stop, just wait for me, I'm trying to enjoy my nighttime.
I need a little bit of a break. Give me a second to like kick my feet up a little, you know?
It was a ruthless freaking AR. It's actually great though, because some of the guys there, I mean, I know I talked to you too hot. Some of their guys wanted to join us. Like, we got Saint in them. We literally fought them last AR, bro. They were on our enemy legion that we were fighting the whole event. It's like, sorry for killing your troops, I guess, but welcome to the team.
Yeah. But see, and I think that's also one of the benefits of the community, you know, because even though, like, here's the way that I look at it, I'm like, even though I make friends in this, like you said, like, even though you and I are good friends, like, if we end up in, you know, we kind of feel obligated to ally with each other, I don't give a shit one way or the other. You know what I mean? Like, I'll fight you I'll fight you to the death,
Yeah, I
even though
mean,
I'm not. It's just good
it's a
gaming.
part of the game, right?
Yeah, it's
Yes,
just good gaming. I'll fight you to the death.
that's how the game goes, bro.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah, I
fight
mean,
you to
it's
the
nothing
death and
personal. I mean,
lose,
like
but
me and Z are really chill, but if we meet, like I know he's wanted to fight us a few times, but I don't think like it's given him a good opportunity because he always wants to fight against like the harder team or whatever, which
yeah,
is
he
usually like
like, and I give the guy respect. You know
like,
what? He puts up. Some people have that saying that says, put up or shut up. Zed, Z puts up. He puts up numbers, and so I give the guy credit. He's created a massive following in the community. Like you mentioned, he knows numbers, I think, better than anybody else.
yeah, one of the professionals at it.
I'm scared of his garrison. Oh, that was one of the things I wanted to mention. So as we were coming to push down by his 6, they had managed an agreement with INF and HORS. So they had stopped fighting on the front line. So they all resorted to fighting us on the backside. And as soon as they all rotated back to us, we took one rally from Z, and I was like, oh, that's it.
No,
Demolish
no,
that tower and go back.
No, the second he set that rally, I would have just called it a day. I would have
Yeah.
been like, good night.
No, that's what I
Good night.
did. As soon as the rally was done and we lost so bad, I instantly transported back to heli.
I wouldn't have even tested it. I would have seen the rally go up, and I would have said, "All right, we're gone, guys. Let's go to helipad. Good night."
I had
I wouldn't even
wait, I had to let it hit. I had to see it because number one, we had everybody that was. Well, it's not that I wanted to test it because I knew we were going to lose, but I knew that we were all pushing so hard, and it would not have been one of those things to just say, okay, everybody push hard. Nah, fuck it. Just back off. You got to at least take it once and take it lying down at least once. But as soon as that rally was finished, I moved back to helipad so fast, relocate, build an oil node, and go back to bed. There's no way. There's no way I'm continuing that fight because you don't beat Z at that point.
And then you got ref beelining for you.
Yeah. Well, I'm
surprised they didn't try it earlier.
That's what I'm saying.
I never get people trying like the last 2 hours. Like they're gonna have some sort of probably a contingency plan for you.
Man,
Or, like,
had they
hold you off with like falling towers.
I honestly thought that they were going to push us harder on that last day, and I anticipated that they were going to, and they didn't. So it really kind of shot me off, and then all of a sudden now when they did, I was expecting FIB to do the same and sandwich us, but they didn't even build out. I kept going back and looking, like, where are they building? Why are they not building? And they just never did. So I'll take 4th place gifted to me. That's fine.
What place did FIB got? Because didn't they have like the prism coins? Wait, what? Did they not get the prism coins around?
No.
For like the 7, they didn't get none.
Were
they all rated?
I think they were 6th.
Dang, bro. I mean, that's still better than I guess like 5th or whatever, 8th or whatever.
They got knocked out of like they got knocked down to just their 6.
I mean, I bet you enjoyed those red merit chests for once.
I didn't get one.
Well, I'm saying like your team at least.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
It's like your top two fighters or whatever. We got 3 because I think if you rank like what's 1st or 2nd, you get 3.
Yeah, well, I think 3 is 2nd and 3rd, isn't it?
No, 1st and 2nd, I believe, and then like you get because we got 3. We got 1st and we got 3.
Okay. Well, we only got 2 in 4th. I gave one to Rice and one to Father.
But yeah, if you get what's it called? It's the same in Genesis though. Like if you get 1st or 2nd in the last ring, you get 3, and if you get 4th or 3rd or 4th, you get 2. So not too bad though. At least you get any. Thing is, it's so hard to build up those freaking device fragments. Unless you're like constantly getting them every single event, and even then, if you're gonna get it to 5 stars, it's gonna take you at least like a year because you're only getting like 5 an event at most.
It's a long time to be end up getting. Is it? I thought you got 10 frags with the chest.
I could check real quick. I don't think it is though. I think you only get 5. Yeah, it's only 5. 5 of each though. It's 5 of each one.
So
you get 2. There's 2 devices. Yeah, so you literally have to go through 6 events to even get 1 upgrade, and you have to be like a top performer each one of those.
Yeah, that's 6 events just to get 1 star. That's 60 events.
Yeah, I mean they are really strong though. I think they're like considerably like.
That's
I think
hold
considered the best device right now, but it just takes too long to grind them up.
Let's just do some quick math. Okay, quick maths. Mm-hmm. You need 60 events in order to get a level 10, like a full awaken. You would need to earn 60 rewards.
Yeah, and I do want to mention this real quick. If you're playing an elite, you don't get there's no chance. There's no way for you to get red merit chests. So you have to do it in only Island Raid and Genesis War in this case, unless you're in Apex.
Right. So you need 60 events, and they only do 2 events per month. That's 30 months.
Well, you get three per month if unless you're not including AR as like an elite player.
Well,
Because you get them AR if you're in Apex.
yeah, but only if you're in Apex, right? So
Yeah.
elite is where you start to get them. But let's say even if we do it, that's 3 events a month. That's 20 months. 20
Over a year,
months.
bro.
That's damn near 2 full years before getting, and that you can't even buy those. That's what I'm saying.
Playing the long game with those with that device. But
And
to be fair, I do think it might be better than some that are at 5-star, at 4 stars. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure like arguably the strongest.
oh, they better
Device.
be. They better be at that restriction. God damn.
Yeah, if you're waiting for 20 months to max it out, it better be. Better be one of the
Especially,
best. And that's only for your top players too. When you think about it.
yeah.
Like you have to be the top performer to
That's
be getting
that's
those.
20 months of kicking ass consistently. God damn.
Dude.
And the good
And
part
that's
is
saying, and that's saying that you do win, right? Because if you're in Apex, you can lose and get them. But that's saying you win every single event in Elite, bro. You
that's
have
what
to
I'm
win everything.
that's
You
what
have to
I'm
be one of the top
saying. What the fuck?
You have to be shredding them
And
to build that up.
you can't even buy them. You can't buy your way to a top 10. You know what I'm saying? Like you can buy your way theoretically in the process of just playing, but you can't
Yeah,
go out and
yeah.
actively buy that piece of armament.
Yeah, at least I can at least like once you have it, you can be like, hey, I got the same exact star as you. Freaking save me. You're
Yeah.
like, oh, your devices suck. Nah, because that would actually be kind of funny though. Like at least you'd be able to match a whale off of pure merit. Though.
That's true. 20 months of pure merit.
Oh yeah, and today's like a half day of matchmaking, half day of senior. I hate that, dude. I have to wake up. I'm like,
What do you mean?
wake up and because it's half and half. Like half matchmaking and then half you actually see your opponent. So today we're gonna see what we got.
Oh, you mean tomorrow?
Yeah. Like 12 and 12 is what I'm saying. Like 12 hours. So like I'll have to wake up early, or not even wake up early, but when I wake up,
So
I have to do my thing.
yeah, so AR opens we know the bracket's 12 hours ahead of time. Is that right? In Archipelago?
Yeah. Because today it finishes registration, and you got 12 hours of matchmaking. After that 12 hours, you see your opponents and stuff, so you can do your diplomacy.
Right.
And then tomorrow, you actually fight.
Yeah,
So-
like registration ends here in an hour and a
in
half.
Hour and a half. Yeah.
And then we have a day of matchmaking, but only half of that is matchmaking.
No. Only half of that's matchmaking.
Right, because after
AR's
that,
the only one that does this.
right, the other ones they do 23 hours of matchmaking for
No.
IR.
For Genesis War is like full. Is it? I think it's the full 24, right? And then you.
Oh yes,
you
because
have
then
an
you have an
hour.
hour. That's right. That's
Yeah.
then you have an hour. Yeah, that's right.
And then
You're right.
Island Raid, yeah, it's well, Island Raid is. I don't even think it's actually the 23 hours or whatever matchmaking. I think they're already done, like probably like an hour in, and they're like, all right. Or they pick the top G's probably, and then
I don't even know if they picked that. I think they literally just like randomized the whole fucking thing. That's the only thing that makes sense.
Technically, it's still 24 hours for matchmaking in Island Raid. It's just like, it's you know it's done because you can just go check yourself. They're gonna be like, oh, it's still matching. It's still matching, guys.
It's still matching. It's still basing it on
Still
rating. Get the fuck out of here, rating.
Yeah, I know in Apex they 100% gotta rig that. And you know what's crazy to me? Every single time I've seen this in like the last 3-4 Island raids, SSI has been literally around the same exact might as like DHX. I have not seen these guys meet one time. It's always like if SSI is number one or DHX is number one, they meet like the third or fourth ranked team. I'm like, why don't you ever have these two giants meet each other? Like you always had the one in G1, one in G2. Like
Because they don't want them to fight each other.
I don't get it because you'd imagine these top alliances would also want a really good fight with the other top alliance. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I don't know. Do
playing
whales
Apex-
want to fight against whales?
they want an epic clash, right? Like, it's not always just like fighting against whales, but you want an epic fight, right? Like, if you're
Sure.
a 32 billion might alliance against another 32 billion might alliance, you know, you want to be like, well, we trumped these guys, or we overgained them, whatever the case, or like it's pretty epic. I mean, even G2, I mean, obviously was kind of, I wouldn't say it was mismatched, but you know, you had UOD at like 18 bill, you had like I see it I think 26 bill or something, and they
Mm-hmm.
had to fight DHX at 32 bill. Also, do want to say, like, I know people like add the might together, but I do think like adding might together is pretty. It's not bad, but when you think about it, just because two alliances might make up like 40 billion might or something, right? I wouldn't exactly say that they're stronger than one team. The reason I say that is a lot of might comes from actual just base might, right? So like
Mm-hmm.
the DHX might actually have more troops than the two alliances combined, but you have so much tech in the actual two alliances because obviously like each player is gonna have maybe like let's say 100 mil, 200 mil might based off like armaments, tech, etc. And
Mm-hmm.
you get what I'm saying, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
so I don't really think the might itself is like pretty good way of like measuring
No, not at
strength.
all. Not at all.
Yeah.
Especially now, with how many layers they have of things that add might but don't necessarily add power. And like we've talked about this once. I mean, we look at beasts, for example. They add a ton of might, but in reality, like in field fighting, for example, it's almost negligible, right? The damage that they
Yeah.
do is almost negligible. And like we said, the only time we actually see massive numbers, massive damage numbers are rallies and garrisons. But even then, the amount of influence that damage is done doesn't really reflect,
You
right? It doesn't really compute and it doesn't really reflect in the actual damage it is. So it's really adding a whole bunch of flair without adding substance. And I can say this because my other account is 130 million and it can garrison against 190 million, some 200 million accounts, and still fare very well, which in theory shouldn't be, like on paper, shouldn't be the case. I shouldn't be able to bang with people that much stronger than me, but because of how much context there is in layering might in this game, like you mentioned, it's not great to look at just might. That's why they have the rating system for Pompeii, but even rating, now they're trying to take it off of too many different things. Like, have you
I would
heard?
say rating is definitely heavily based on troops though.
Well, troops, it's also based on daily activity. It's based on participation.
Yeah.
Like when they base it on you doing and completing daily tasks, your rating goes up by just being active. You can be active every day and do absolutely nothing. Nothing. And somehow that increases your rating?
It's funny because I think like a series, for example, has a better rating than like Big D in Pompeii. Like he has like more troops than him, but like his like best hero is not even 5 million might. Is like
Well, that's what I'm saying.
already not.
There's a guy in my Academy Alliance. He's at 100 and like he at one point he was 150 million might, but his rating was 600 million. And I went, how the hell is that even possible? And it's literally
I've
because
never
he.
seen that.
That's what I'm saying. And I went through and I was looking at it. It's because he had like so many armaments in his bag that were not used, or every hero had armaments on it in his history, and he had
I hate
so
when they do
many
that.
troops that were useless, like 2 million cars.
I hate when people do that stuff with armaments. Like they just put it
Yeah.
on every single hero. I'm like, dude, you're inflating it to look
Mm-hmm.
strong. Like what is the point of looking big? You can't back it in. Honestly, you want to look weaker so people underestimate you, et cetera, right? Like
I
I don't
feel a
know.
lot better being 150 million or 130 million being able to defend against 170, 180 million player. I feel much better that way than the alternative being 180 and losing to 130 million. You know what I mean? Like I
Yeah, it's
would
like, oh well, I'm getting rich right now. Like,
I
no,
should
dude. And then you got like you got like 30 million wasted might and armaments, and you're like, where did I go wrong? Why is this smaller guy beating me? Maybe because he doesn't have all this fake might,
yeah.
and he's actually like a real representation of your might, except you're still probably just weaker because your actual main set of armaments is weaker, your workshop's weaker, whatever the case. But
You're not focusing
yeah, dude,
properly, you're not building efficiently. Like there's lots of ways to go wrong in this game very quickly. Very quickly.
try hard, man. That's all I can say.
Min-maxing for the win.
Dang, we dropped lower than I expected. They already kick the accounts? No, they didn't. Okay.
Yeah, that's my next
I'm
thing. I
pretty
have to kick
surprised.
account still.
Yeah, well, we have like those prime fillers I told you about, but I don't even know if I'll need to really kick them because I actually like kind of getting them in the event because if you can bring them onto the map and even just farm a few nodes, I think you get like some of those coins, which end up giving you like a ton of resource tokens. So I'm gonna try to get them, like like what I'm talking about, like where they have the thing where you like construction, where you have to fight whatever it is
Yeah,
points
or
to get,
like
like the
join,
stuff.
participate in building and stuff like that.
Yeah. So if you just gather a few nodes or something, you should be able to get like quite a few resources actually off them. So I'm gonna keep them in probably for the event, and each of the accounts I think would get like maybe 30 plus million at least, maybe.
Hey man, that's a good enough
Maybe more.
exchange, especially when you're looking for resources and knowing how expensive everything is to.
Sure
I
is.
went through fucking
And I mean,
1.2 billion resources this last IR. I can't even.
yeah, and half the time too, we get on we still getting like the top elite like thing. So it's like how much does it really matter if we drop to like 5 billion might or 6 billion might, right? We're still gonna fight the teams with 7 billion might. Like, I'm not gonna drop all these 5 million might accounts just to get down one G. Like, and we know we can somewhat compete at least in the top G, so it's like
Yeah.
it's fine. So we're not gonna stress over it. As long as we're in elite. I don't want to go in Apex, and I'm not going in
Well,
Apex
see, that's
ever again in my life.
yeah, I wouldn't want to either, and that's exactly where we're looking at. It's like I can sustain being in the bottom end of elite or the top end of fearless. I'm fine with that, right? That's kind of like my bread and butter. That's where I am. But when matchmaking gives me G8, there's a problem. So so instantly I'm like, well, maybe I want to go back to fearless just to make sure that G8 doesn't happen again. But in the same breath, I'm like, I want to give elite a try because I keep hearing that the matchmaking in elite is so much better because like you don't have as many sandbagging whales in elite as what you have in fearless, and you don't have like these mass and discrepancies and stuff. Like it's I'd like to give it a
Yeah, I
shot.
mean,
I want to give it a
it
shot.
is it is a flip of the coin as well because at the end of the day, I mean, especially if you're a team like like I feel like with us, we don't have as many flip of the coins. If it's a flip of the coin, it's usually more on the other people's side because
Mhm.
you really think about it. We're probably on the stronger team, like end of elite, right? So like it's pretty hard to give us a matchup that we're gonna be like, oh, this is completely unfair, right? So like
Mhm.
no matter what the case is, like obviously there are cases where we're going to be on the losing end. It is what it is, but it is still a flip of the coin at the end of the day. Like there's teams that are going to be thrown into the suffering pool, but then there's also teams that are going to be like thrown into the good matchups. Like because I mean, like you see what you had just now. Like I'm sure there's other teams that get that every single time. I mean, like even in our bracket was a pretty good example where they're like, dang, and they complain, right? They complain. It's kind of stupid to me sometimes though, where people complain to you and they're like, oh, you must love bullying us, huh? And I'm like, bro, did you think I like told the devs to put me? Like, I didn't tell them to throw me in G12, bro. I didn't want this. I wanted to be in G8 or G whatever as
Yeah,
much
I
as
would
the
have
next
traded
guy.
spots with you. Give me G12 every day. I'm fine with that.
I mean, like, and it's kind of funny as well because they end up allying like 60W, who arguably is on the same strength as us. Is like, well, why are you complaining about us? Like, complain about your allies. You know what I mean? Like, don't hate on me, bro.
That's
Don't
right.
don't hate on the player. Hate on the game, man.
Well, and I, it's actually funny you mentioned that because I was looking at something the other day and it clued in a little bit to me. I was talking to Z, and I don't mean to bring up Z so much, but I was talking to him the other day
Right.
about the problem with immigration. I honestly think that there's an immigration issue, not just politically, but in the game there's absolutely an immigration issue. And
Yeah.
one of those is that there's it's free immigration everywhere you want to go. You can have multi-regional alliances. I could go on and on about why I think there's an immigration issue, but it clued into me why he doesn't see the same thing, because in his alliance he had 3 individual people with martial buffs.
Oh
So,
my gosh. Wait,
so
in Z's team?
yeah.
Well, I think they merged. Though. I think they merged with some other teams. To be fair.
I mean, maybe they had Mr. Spessy was there as well. So like they had a
Yeah,
whole
yeah, yeah,
bunch.
yeah.
I mean,
He's,
they had a
he's
whole
from Region
bunch,
11 or whatever.
but like, but they had. I think at one point I noticed like 3 or 4 players with the martial buff at the same time, and in my head I'm going,
I will say they're not like SSI, like because I'm gonna be fair. SSI does invade a lot of regions
of
for
course,
martial buffs,
yep,
but I think Z merged with this team called Duff, and I know they merged with like or Specky's like a solo player a lot of the time, so they had Specky join, and I don't know if they had somebody else join. So to be fair, they probably had the martial buffs from that, but
sure.
I get what you're saying.
But it's like one of those things where I clued in. I'm like, okay, I see. And again, it's nothing against him because it's all part of the game, right? It's all a part of what they allow in the game. So there's no harm in taking advantage of it. But then I went,
Stupid.
well, it makes sense as to why you don't necessarily hate on it, because you are, in fact, taking advantage of it. You're getting the benefits of it. So I can understand that now. But me, on the
I
other
mean, I'm
hand,
sure. I'm sure even some people who get the benefits of it would still say like it's a terrible feature. But it's kind of like if you're not taking advantage of it, somebody else is. You know what I mean? So it's like
oh,
you want to be
exactly.
the guy who's abusing it, not the one who's getting abused by it.
It's like it
So
was like the Healbots. I remember back in the day when they were such a big thing, like a secret thing to talk about. Like you never mentioned it. Don't ever mention it. Don't ever mention it. And all of a sudden everybody has them, and they become
so fun.
quintessential.
I mean, it's kind of funny because that actually reminds me of this. There's an anti-peat bug. You would basically rally with Maxine, and Maxine is like this rage skill or something. I think it like basically what ends up happening is you might have known this, but the rally wouldn't cancel, right? Like it would just run for the full duration of Antipede because everybody had Maxine, and it was like throwing this skill on the actual Pede itself. So the rally would never drop.
Oh.
and nobody would really mention it. And then somebody made a freaking video on it. I didn't make a video on it because I didn't want to get I didn't want to getting screwed. I didn't want to getting nuked. But I think someone made a video on it, if I remember properly. And like a week later, the bugs fixed. I'm like,
Oh,
you like,
that's a
like, yeah, I didn't make a
sick
video on it.
bug. Oh, snap.
Because I gotta like look at it, but I know Maxine had like she has like a
Yeah, so her rage
it's
skill
like a
removes rage.
yeah, and I think there's like a skill on the PED, which is why it actually drops rallies after like a certain amount of time.
Well, the Antipede's rage skill stacks its ability, and once you get 25 of its stacked ability, it kills your rally.
Yeah. So it basically would stop its rage from building up at all
Yeah.
if you had enough rallies running. So
Right.
like it wouldn't be able to, it wouldn't be able to drop your rallies.
So
And
it
I
would
was
never
loving it. I
stack
was
its
like,
send home effect. You'd be attacking the
yeah.
entire 30
You wouldn't
times.
have to keep freaking setting, which I think is like what it
Jesus.
should allow you to do. Like I don't know why they had to fix that. Like I prefer it that way because I don't want to keep having to set rallies. Like it's so annoying, dude.
Well, I think a lot of it comes down to all of a sudden now you have everybody sending Maxine, and all of a sudden it's a little bit broken for your damage because Maxine
Yeah, because
is.
you don't have the gaps in between. But they could just make it shorter and just allow the rally to run forever. Like I'd be fine with that, bro. Like,
But
please, just
here's
make
here's my
make the
question.
hit
Once you get red part or red equipment, what purpose is the Antipede?
speed ups and stuff. You get training speed ups.
Yeah, but barely any. In comparison,
I mean,
once a week
it
for
still
like
adds up, though.
sure, but you know,
And you can help your team, and you can help your team though by also rallying. Just even if it's just one troop. I know some people do that, and then they join your rally and they get like the buffs and all that.
I mean,
that's if it's convenient.
don't get me wrong, it's good for everybody else who doesn't have red equipment. But like here's the point where like the game can provide more stuff now. Like why don't you add level 11 Antipede, level 12 Antipede? We've had level 10 Antipede this entire time. I kill level 10 Antipede in the first 3 minutes.
Yeah,
right?
Give us a new challenge. I remember how exciting it was to beat the levels one by one. I remember being stuck at like level 9 for the longest time.
Yeah, you were stuck there for like 4 weeks, 5 weeks.
I was like, God, please. Please give it to me.
And now you get level 10 is done easy, and it's like all I get is, I mean, all I really care about is the steal from it. But now that I have red part or red equipment, it's like, do I even give a shit?
I just do it for the training speed-ups. I just do it for the training speed-ups. I have to look. Yeah, 4 hour times 17. So like it's not that bad. I mean it's only like a few days maybe at most.
Yeah, I guess that's not too bad.
I mean it adds up. You know what I mean? It adds up. So I just still do it for that case.
You can add some survivor something, add some beast something. I mean beasts are hard to get and they're useless anyway. So just add some beast fragments. You know what I mean? Like
they used to have something else. I forget what it was. They had something in there though. I remember it was like only for the first few months of it, and it actually was way more worth it, which actually pissed me off because I didn't do Antipede at all because I was like too lazy, and I was like, man, F this, bro. I'm not doing this. I'm not waking up for Antipede because I think I was in like I don't know. It was like some weird UTC time, so I just didn't like it. But I freaking regretted not doing it after a while. I think it also might have just been gear as well because they did have gear and they had something else in there, but whatever. I was just like, I'm over this.
It's like
and then I regretted.
It's like the bounty ground wheel. I don't know how many times like I didn't clear the wheel, and like now I'm going, that set me back so far by not doing it.
I AFK that. I just AFK the wheel, bro.
Yep.
AFK bounty ground.
Yep.
I
that's
can't
totally
do it
fine.
though, in like Archipelago and stuff. I just forget, like, and I'm too occupied during the events, so I never do it during like Genesis or Island Raid or whatever.
I didn't do it this last week, and I'm kicking myself in the ass. Number one, because it had spins for the breach event.
The other event, yeah.
Yeah, and I was super close. I was for free. I had gotten 3/4 of the way to the freaking car for free. Okay, so I was super jacked. I was so close. I would have done anything for those extra spins, and I totally forgot because of fucking Island Raid.
Did you end up getting the car? You buy it all, or you spend for it?
No, I can't. I'm broke. Are you kidding? Married to 3 kids.
Yo, you know what you can do? You go steal a goat from the neighbor.
From the neighbor, yeah.
Like, hey man, I'm gonna need this. I gotta buy a car. And he's like, oh, what kind of car?
Good callback.
You wouldn't understand. You wouldn't understand what kind of vehicle I'm buying.
We're gonna pause for just a couple quick minutes. Just because my wife wants to do, she's got to leave again here in a couple minutes. Take her kids to dance. Man, kids are crazy.
Oh, they do dance?
Yeah, my kids are all into dance. My daughter's a ballerina, and I tell you, she is amazing. It's a pit bull, right? Or part boxer?
Yeah, he's like a mixed pit.
His name is Otis. He's a handsome boy.
You're a good little boy.
He's a handsome boy. My wife got me a A nice gift. It's an ounce of my favorite green.
Oh, it's some weed.
Yeah, some weed, baby. And then I got myself a nice little vape pen. It is like a little vape. I got little bongs over here everywhere. It's the whole
All I
setup.
need is some Cheez-Its or something, and I'm good for a week.
Cheez-Its?
Yeah, bro, that's my secret passion over here, my secret joy.
You like your Cheez-Its?
Yeah, that or like, well, thinking
I
about Cheez-Its is, you said what?
I was just gonna say I like the cheese puffs.
I can't eat too many of those in succession, or like I don't know. It's like I just can't do that. But I will say this: I like stuff like Takis and stuff. But the thing is, I can't eat them because I'll finish them. I'll finish a full bag in a day. So that's why I like Cheez-Its, because I actually spread it out better throughout the week. Or I'll get popcorn.
So so you're 6'2". Are you like 70% leg? Because it appears like it's all leg.
I am. I got some long freaking legs. Yeah. I
And
definitely.
I'll be honest, they are the whitest legs on a brown person I've ever
All right,
seen.
no, you ain't gotta do me like that now.
I swear you took the top half of you and put it on the bottom half of a white guy.
I mean, I do got a white dad, so
Speaking of which,
yeah.
he just walked in. What are you planning to go to
Actually
school
cool
for?
because I'm not even completely sure. I think I'm gonna do it for like tech though, like coding and stuff.
Nice.
I don't know. I don't even like it that much, but hey man, sometimes you don't like it is what it is, bro. I've done classes for it. I almost killed myself. I was like, oh my gosh. But I do know like the pay is really good for coding and whatnot.
Well, it is now. I wonder what it's going to be like in the future. Because, like,
Yeah.
I read wholeheartedly that coding is an industry that is going to be removed quite quickly with the invention of quantum computing.
AI and stuff.
Well,
Oh.
AI for one, quantum computing for two. Like, sorry, my
Mhm.
wife is dying because she's got lungs of a virgin.
Lungs of a virgin, that's me, dude.
Which is weird because we've been married for 14 years and she's been like we've been consistently chronic throughout that entire time, but she still has lungs of a virgin.
It's funny you say that. I ain't even kissed a girl yet, bro. My lips are virgin, man.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I haven't, dude. I'm very awkward with girls, so
Really?
you know. Yeah,
You seem like
dude. I haven't.
such a wholesome dude. Like you just got Riz. What the fuck?
No, I don't got no riz, bro. I don't got no riz, bro. I'm like, I'm rizless, dude. I haven't kissed a girl. The most I've done is like, I wouldn't even say I've like held hands with any. Like, there was like this girl in my theater class though. She was like into me. She would like sit on my lap and like wrap her arms around me. But that was about it, bro. That's the closest I've gotten to really getting close to the girl, bro. And it's crazy too, cause I remember asking her out with like a box of chocolate and everything, bro. And she ended up saying like, "Oh, sorry, I'm moving." Like, or like she was moving like in a month or something. I was like, "Damn, bro, you have to do me like that? Come on now."
Goddamn time.
But yeah, like, bro, that's timing
Hey.
right there.
At least she didn't say no because she didn't like you. So you
I
can't
mean, it
consider.
seemed like she liked me. She was trying to sit on my lap. She'd take my hoodie from me and wear that mess. Like, bro.
Oh yeah, she wanted on that thing.
Yeah, yeah. Like, if you didn't like me, you were wilding out because you a hoe. Yeah, she would walk up behind me, like wrap her arms around me. Like, yeah, it is funny though, because I would talk to girls, and I think they would just look at me, and I think they thought I was like a player or something. I'm like, "Dog, I'm not a player, bro. I can barely pull. Like, why are y'all like discriminating against me for?"
Man, you seem like you got it all hooked up, man. You could play that part real well.
I'm just shy. That's my issue. I'm really shy.
You're
'Cause
shy?
yeah, I remember being on like this cruise, and I there were these girls that had like I would go to dinner every day, right? In this one place, and they were sitting kind of like near us at a table. And I remember after like a week, I finally worked up the courage. And what I ended up doing, I didn't walk up to them. I mean, I did it later, but I'll tell you about that. But I ended up writing my like Snapchat or something on like a piece of paper, and I gave it to like my brother-in-law,
Yeah.
my sister's like fiance, and I was like, "Yo, get this to them." I freaking ran out of that restaurant so fast, bro. I was like, "You got it, Jit." But what sucked is I was waiting out front, right? and I was waiting for this dude to come out because I was like, where is he, right? This dude literally, after taking my notes, then decided, all right, I'm gonna take a pit stop by the bathroom. So these girls, I see them walking out. Bro, I'm not joking. I jumped over a table and ran, bro, because I saw it. I was like, "There's no way, bro. This dude's trying to get me killed, bro." And I hid behind a pillar, but
Jumped a table and hid behind a pillar.
yeah, I mean, I got the legs to jump a table, bro.
Do you no
So I'm a
shit? I mean, do
lightweight.
you even jump it or you just high step it? Just like one. Whoop.
Yeah, just 1, 2.
That's right. Just whoop.
I did actually approach them later. I offered to like pay for their drinks or something. I was like, "What's good?" And she ended up having a boyfriend, so I was like, "Damn, damn, I did all that, and you had a boyfriend." But hey, man, I at least worked up the courage to talk to her because I'm telling you, I'm just shy, bro. I can't. I'm bad.
I find that so funny to believe to me, just because. And don't get me wrong, it's nothing more than, as a YouTuber, it really seems weird to me to get shy in the public's eye because you're literally in the public's eye, like you're promoting yourself as that.
I've always been super awkward actually, but I mean, I did theater and stuff, so doing stuff like video is actually pretty easy for me. I even was like kind of nervous with theater, but it's pretty easy if you don't like pay attention to the crowd. You just look over their heads, you're like, I don't see you there. But
Just like
I
look
don't know.
into the lights.
I'm super antisocial though. Like I'm very bad at. I mean, I even had this girl, and it was kind of funny because there's a girl at my school, and she ended up actually breaking up with me. I don't remember why, but she I think she thought I was like too like I don't know, maybe I was too like sweet or something. I don't know. Like she wanted like some bad boy or something, bro. But what I was saying though, like I remember this one girl, right? And like I said, I think she broke up with me because like I wasn't like a bad boy or something. I don't remember what she wanted, but like she wanted me to like have a different personality. I don't know what it was,
Yeah.
but I remember I like actually had a crush on her, and she liked me too. And I remember her calling me one night because we were in theater together, right? Because I did a lot of acting when I was in high school. She basically called me to rehearse our lines and stuff, and it was funny because she was trying to poke and prod, and she was trying to be like, oh, like who do you like, and like she wanted me to guess who she liked. And bro, she literally described me down to a T, and we sat there for 2 hours, and I swear I did not believe it. I was like, it sounds like me, but there's no way it's me, right? Like, there's no way that like she likes me, bro. Like, and she mentioned like everything, like me being in the same theater classes. Her, like, bro, it was so obvious, but I was like,
She
nah, there's
didn't.
no
So
way.
because she didn't come out and say you.
Yeah, bro. Like, I don't. I just like I'm too nervous, and I don't want to be like, you like me? Question mark. Like, no, bro.
You didn't want to write her a note. Go to
Yeah, I
dance?
did end up
Yes,
asking
no,
her out
maybe.
though. I ended up asking her out though, because I finally said it after like 2 hours of encouragement. I was like, "What if I'm wrong? Like, what if I'm wrong on this?" And you know what I mean? I was like, I was so nervous, bro. I was so nervous. I still would probably be today, because like I said, bro, I am shy. Like people don't think I am, but
If it makes you feel any better,
no.
that's a phase. You'll grow out of it. Most people get to a point where it's like, people don't give a shit. Who cares? It's all
They probably
irrelevant.
don't. They don't already, but yeah. I mean, like even like what's it called? Like getting denied. I mean, like it's just a part of life, right? But it is something that you're still fearful of. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
like, it's a natural thing, but you're like,
And I'll be the first one to tell you that I wasn't the aggressive one in my relationship either. But I'll tell you now, at 38 years old, I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. I lost all my fucks to give a long time ago.
I just noticed something by the way. I don't know if you've ever used the Steam client for Doomsday at all.
No, I use the actual DLS.
Okay, well, I use the Steam one as well as the DLS one. I just open the Steam client, and like it'll sometimes do like a Discord overlay, right? Where like if I'm in a call, it won't do it for the normal Doomsday, but it'll always do it for Steam.
Yeah.
Where it'll be like it'll show like the people in the call right in the top corner. It literally has like I have the Discord thing right here, right? So I can see your face, but it literally has it in this corner. I could probably send you a picture. It has us literally in the corner of my Doomsday client, bro. Like it like has a little faces, like tiny little. Wait, let me show you, bro. It's so funny.
So, anyways, let's cut back to we'll cut back everything everyone else has left. So I'm finally in peace.
Yeah.
Rambunctious household.
We went off on a tangent over there.
Yeah.
People are gonna be like, Panda?
Panda is so innocent, man. I'll tell you now, though, you're gonna get so many more requisitions in your so many more requisitions in your book. So many more chicks want to take that V card. They want to stamp that shit.
Oh my gosh, bro. It's funny,
Oh,
like I said, bro, people think I'm a player. Like when I would be like on a I think I've been like on a dating app and people thought like they would just see me and be like, "Oh, yeah, you're a player." Like, "Dog, no, I'm not." Y'all think I'm a
straight
player. So
up.
like I can't play. Like
Listen, fam. You're how do I put this? It's like getting the you get the win just because. You know what I mean? Like you're guilty by association. You might not think that you have Riz, but you look like you have Riz. And I think that by its own right means that you do. You just have the confidence to understand it. So like you said, it took you 2 hours previously to understand that one chick had the hots for you. I think the truth is you just got to have the hots for yourself. You look like you have Riz, and that's all that matters. It doesn't matter whether you actually do or not. You ever heard the term fake it till you make it? Like
hell yeah.
you are pinnacle to that position right now. You are already faking it very, very well. People think you are rolling in it. All you got to do now is accept it and start
Yeah,
rolling in it.
I'll tell everybody I'm just like that. Be like, "Hey,
I just
you
like
want to
that.
become a player on my roster?
You just want to be
Pull up,
another number? What's up?
pull up." And then you're number one anyways. But you
That's
gotta act like you're not. You know what I mean? You gotta be like, "Oh no, you're just one of Manny.
You're just
Welcome to the team.
one of this week.
Welcome to the team. I guess you can get up and play ball."
Slap ass.
There's that. There's always that.
Oh man. You know what? I'll be honest though, Panda. It's one of those things where I look at it and because you've done so much with YouTube, because you've accomplished a lot, like it's one of those things where I keep forgetting that you're young. So like a lot of this shit is just shit that you grow out of, like you just grow into. I mean, we can talk confidence and we can talk acceptance and blah 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 blah. It always takes everybody a certain amount of time to understand that shit, and like it was that for me too. The only difference is I found my wife at the same time and she was going through some tough shit and I was going through some tough shit at the same time, so we trauma bonded together. Do you know what I mean? I just got lucky. So it's one of those things. I keep forgetting that you're still pretty young. You still got a lot of experience to have.
Yeah. But when I hit that 20, I felt like I aged 20 years
Oh,
in a
really?
day. Well, just because like I go from like teen and then I'm like, damn, I'm really an adult
I'm
now.
really in that
That's crazy.
20s now. Oof.
Yeah, and it's kind of crazy because I always was like called the young guy on the game. I mean, I'm still pretty young compared
Mm,
to everybody else in the games. But I mean, like I literally was like playing base builder since I was, like I told you, but before about like 12, 13.
mhm.
So I was always it's always kind of funny. And now I'm like, damn, I'm kind of gonna become that old geezer one day, huh? That's gonna be
Eventually,
me.
we
I'm gonna be
all
looking
get
down at
there.
the kids like, oh, you're kind of young, youngin. Also, I kind of love how you can see the colors of my face change. I just remembered I've been going through my accounts doing freaking Arena of Doom. So like you'll see like what's it called? Look,
Yeah, the color
flag.
changes as it goes.
Yeah, as you do
Yeah.
the little defeat the beating them animation, whatever it's called.
Yeah, I just lit up my entire room so I can't go back and forth and do that shit. But I'll be honest, if I started doing that, I would probably forget that we were talking and then just focus on the game and then it would be a bad conversation.
I just had my mouse in position, so I opened up the next account, click 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 click,
Yeah.
next account, click 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 click.
No, I feel that. How many accounts
I
do you
would have
run
done it
now?
already, like including entrusted and stuff
No,
normally.
no. Well,
Because I do
how
have
many do
some
you
that are,
play at once?
I have some that are regularly entrusted to me for fights. So depending on the fight, I can have up to 8 running a lot of the time. So
Like
yeah, like the
controlling
field fight
8 at a
thing.
time?
Yeah, like there's situations where I've actually run 12 because I have this. I mean, I know I talk about him, but there's this guy Crow. He has this other account Rex as well. And if Mecha's not able to be on, I sometimes have to run that and then a series and trust the Mecha, so I have to get on a series as well. And then I'll have like 4 here, 4 here, 4 here, and it's mental, dude, because I gotta be
It's
super on top of it, so I'm not like getting dragged off in field combat, which
dude.
is like super.
I lost my mind playing 2, okay? Fuck you. That's all. I lost my
Yeah,
mind trying
it's
to play
hard,
2 at
bro.
the
But
same time. You're sitting over here doing 12? Get
I mean,
out of
when
here.
you get used to it, you get used to it. You know what I mean? Like I
Holy.
built like a habit. I actually used to do this I used to do this kinda on my other game, Hackfire, except it wasn't to the same degree because obviously you don't like have big field fights. But since how the mechanics worked is if you hit a base or something, you could basically injure 20k troops, right? Like you would injure 20k, 30k troops in a hit, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So I'd basically have multiple counts spam attacking a base, since like I would need to zero it. Like it would take me super long by myself to zero it, so I'd need like multiple accounts to try to pop it as quick
Right.
as possible. So like it's just more efficient for you. So like yeah, I used to actually kind of start off in another game, but I leveled it up when I got to Doomsday. I was like, oh hell yeah,
That's
I'm a good
insane
to
to
go.
me. That is absolutely insane to me. Like I said, I tried to play a second account this IR, and I couldn't do both. I couldn't field fight with both. Like it's too nuts.
Only time I have issues with it is if I'm doing it in multiple brackets. Like I sometimes join my friends and I don't mind doing it just because like I can fight at different times if I really need. But
Yeah.
I need to stop joining them for Genesis War because I literally can't focus on their bracket at all, like during mid fights or anything. Like I can't help them, but they always want me to join. But I'm like, bro, I can't do anything for you guys. Like I'm literally too focused on my bracket. Like I could do my accounts in my own bracket, but I can't field fight
Jeez.
in two different scenarios, not even being able to check like which account's getting dragged off, because I can at least visually see like, oh, this account's getting dragged away by this random guy I targeted. You know what I mean? Like I can't do that in the small bracket unless I'm actively looking at that screen specifically. So
Jesus.
no bueno,
But
no
see
bueno.
that right there, it just proves to me one thing, that like the ability to multitask is not lost on the next generation. They understand how to keep their hands on 12 different pots at the same time. I give you credit, man. I couldn't do it. I'm relinquishing my one account to farm status, and that is it.
You gotta have quick eyes, dude. Your eyes got to be faster than your hands.
Yeah, no, not anymore. At almost 40 years old, I'm lucky if my eyes open, let alone trace across the screen going to 12 different apps. I started drinking sugar-free shit because as you get old, you realize how much sugar we eat. And I'll tell you,
Hmm.
it has been an interesting trade. You can
I
tell.
definitely lowered like my sugar intake, but
Yeah.
I still eat like candy and stuff if I get it. But I won't eat like all my chocolate at like one time. You know, I won't scoff it down.
My wife just showed up with a chocolate bar for me, so I definitely eat my sugar still. But I started moving to at least like I drink black coffee now and I drink sugar-free, other beverages are all sugar-free because I'm like, I drink a lot.
I don't even like, really drink coffee or anything. I've only drunk it like two times or something. Like I know a lot of people do, but I don't know. I feel like you get reliant on it and stuff, and then I don't want to be reliant on it. Not to mention if you drink it enough, I'm pretty sure like it'll have less of an impact, I suppose, on you. You know what I mean? Because
Yes,
you just get so used to it in your body.
of
So I just
course.
kind of never got into it. All I drink really is water, bro. I have so many water bottles that I like. Like all I drink is water, dude. I
So
don't drink anything else
so you're doing all the
unless
right
it's like yogurt.
things. So you're doing all the right things. Admittedly, all of the right things. You're drinking water, which is better. You're not drinking coffee, which is better. 100%. And that's probably
I, I
why I hold a little grudge against it.
I
You know what I
actually
mean?
like water. I actually like water. Like the taste to me, like it's just so satisfying for some reason. Like some people might not like it just because like they're like, oh, it doesn't taste like anything. But I like water. Like it hits the right spot.
I have so I'll typically have three beverages around me. I have a coffee, right? I've got a coffee all the time. I'll have a water, and then I'll have something else, right? And I blame this on my ADHD, but it's a very typical thing that most people with ADHD experience. They've got one glass for energy, which is coffee. They've got one glass for hydration, which is water, and then one glass for fun, just to add a change to the day. You know what I mean? And so, like, I typically follow the same thing, but I could not lie. You don't give me coffee in the morning, and I definitely feel it in the afternoon.
I don't drink anything else unless it's like fast food, right? Like if I'm eating out at like McDonald's, right? And I barely do that, but if I'm out and that's just like a sweet treat, like Pepsi or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't even like drinking that too much because I get like heartburn. Because I'm like, for example, I don't know how, but I just get heartburn from some certain stuff. Like if I'm actually allergic to tomato sauce or tomatoes, so like if I eat pizza, I get like heartburn, but I'll still eat it. I still eat pizza, like
My
admittedly.
wife gets the same thing. My wife got the
I just have
same
to get
thing.
like
I totally
I just have to
understand.
get I just can't get like saucy pizza. Like I just can't get pizza that's super saucy or it's gonna hurt your boy.
I don't mean to segue. We had pizza last night, and my wife spent time scraping off the sauce. She
Oh
just
my
scraped
gosh.
the sauce.
I
She took the toppings off, scraped the sauce off, and put the toppings back, and it worked
can't
for
do all
her.
that. I can't do all that. I'm fine with with pizza, so, like with actual tomato sauce. It
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like is a minor inconvenience. Like I'll deal with the heartburn. I'm like, I'll take it in stride. I'm sure when I get older, I'm gonna be less willing to
You'll be more of a
take
best
that
friend with
heartburn.
Tums. Yeah.
It's
You'll
kind of funny. I actually bought them by accident when I was younger, which is like I don't even know how, but I remember it was my birthday, and I went out with like my godmother, and she like took me to the store, and I thought it was gum, so I was like, she like was gonna get me something. I just was like, whatever, I'll get some gum, but it was like some expensive. I was like, damn, this is some expensive gum, right? I was like, this gonna be like this better be
This
some
is some
good ass gum, right?
chalky
So
gum.
I got the freaking like the gum, and I go in the car, and I'm with my sister too, so I give her a piece, and she like instantly spits it out, bro. I took that. And I was like, I had it in my mouth already, and I didn't want to spit it out because I didn't want to be like looking ungrateful. I was like, oh hell no, I had to eat that thing up. I was like, and I freaking I killed myself that day in that car.
Oh,
I had to eat
jeez.
that. I had to eat that thing. I had to accept my fate, but I
I'm,
never ate another one. I just kept it in my room somewhere.
I'm telling you now, I am best friends with Tums. They come in handy as you develop the Unfortunately, age doesn't do well for your digestive system, so Tums comes to the rescue.
I can't wait. I can't wait to be there. I'm
I
joking
would
about that.
trade
I mean,
you in a moment.
I don't want to get to that point, but time is a killer, man. It's gonna hit me, and I'm gonna be like, God damn it!
Yeah.
No more chocolate for me. No more pizza for me.
Oh no, you still
I
eat
still
the
eat
pizza.
pizza,
You
but
just eat Tums. That's what,
yeah,
you do it. You just now have
that's the
Tums.
that's like a dessert, but
Yeah.
instead of ice cream, you're eating Tums. You're like, okay,
Exactly.
well,
It's your like sweets of the day.
yeah, that's like, oh, the taste sucks though. I hate the taste. That's the worst part. Like, imagine eating a really good meal and you're like, oh, and then you're like, well, now I gotta ruin my taste buds for the day. Like,
That's true. That's true. But the fruit ones, you got to get the fruit ones,
hmm.
not the mint ones. Get the fruit ones. They're much better.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll remember that for the future. I'll
Yeah.
remember this
When
20 years down.
hopefully by
20
that
years
time you
down.
won't need them because we'll have some other pill for when you get old that'll be better. But if it doesn't, get the fruit. The fruit Tums will be your best friend.
I'll keep
Oh
that in the
man.
back of my brain
This
for
is the
when I'm
next.
like
It's like it became
30
the
plus.
ageist podcast all of a sudden.
I mean, it's still interesting. It's gonna
I'll
someone's
bring out
gonna
my
watch.
walker here in a second. I'll start.
Otis is my walker.
He'll
He's like
keep
a
you
pony,
young.
you know.
Yeah, no
You
shit. He'll
get
keep
on
you young.
he'll get on you get on his back and he'll carry you anywhere. He'll probably kill me if I do that. Bro, what are you doing? You're
What do
trying
you
to
do?
kill me? I'm not a horse.
Not today. So, anyways, let's hop back to the game here before we wrap up. We've been bullshitting for a while, and it's been a lot of fun. My face is legitimately hurting, but it's getting close to reset, and I still have stuff to do on the game. So we're
You
gonna.
gotta kick those players,
That's
dude.
right. I gotta kick people, otherwise I'll end up in
Yeah.
Apex, and I don't want that.
Are you
Nope.
actually in Apex
No, no,
area or
no,
no?
no, no, no. We're only at like, I mean, at full weight with all the farms, we're at 6 billion, so we wouldn't be Apex, but at least I don't think we would because we were still less than what fucking Z registers at and still end up in his bracket. Just
I don't
kidding.
even know how that dude does it. They like stay at like a freaking crazy perfect low might.
Well, he says it's because they only register 39 fighters, 39 players. He says that's what they have. They've got 39 fighters and that's it. And the rest is filled with bots in it, like bots and farms. You know, for the lowest might they can, and they go in with these exact same 39 people every time. And I'm like, well, as
They
long
do
as
their
you know
job.
that's what I'm saying. You go in knowing what you're gonna do, and you do it well.
They sure
Control.
bang it out well. So
Yeah, they control the board where they need to. So, anyways, we didn't touch too much on the riders. I want to ask you kind of specifically because we do have Rubina and Daryl fresh into the mix. Rubina's fresh. Did you end up picking her up, by the way?
I not on my main account. I have unlocked her though.
Yeah, you have.
On like another. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I guess my question is, what do you think is going to be the response in the infantry side of things? Like if we were to speculate with what Rubina's going to bring, because I mean we can see what she's going to bring on paper, and with IGG's experience, even what doesn't say on paper means they're going to be good at doing everything else anyways. What kind of speculation do you think is going to be happening in regards to the response for infantry?
That's so hard because they love now doing this thing where they just introduce new mechanics. So it's like, how do you predict a new mechanic, right? Like like a new chasey, right? Like
Yeah, I didn't
they
think
love
about that. That's true.
introducing new kind of stuff. So it's like
Yeah.
they're gonna like curveball you, and you can guess all you want, and then they're gonna have like, well, now he freaking, I don't know, maybe like basic attack damage. I mean, I doubt that's gonna be it, but like they're gonna hit us with a freaking chasey infantry hero. Like, bro, get out of here, man. I don't need my new infantry as a chasey. Like,
I'm I'm really just hoping, honestly, that it synergizes well with Riven. I'm hoping that they build on that, and I'm hoping that they don't just start something brand new and fresh.
I imagine they will. I imagine they will. I feel like they like changing it up though, because they don't want to make like they might end up reintroducing something that like reinvigorates Riven right in the future. But I feel like they'll introduce something that would kind of shift your focus because they want to make sure that you're not like able to keep relying on the same heroes every single time, right? Because they want to like it's also how they make money, right? Because
Sure.
if Riven's still very useful with like in the way she is with Stella, why would you need to invest in whatever other new hero there is? Because
But here's my question. My only kind of confrontation to that, my only kind of rebuttal to that is, if you look at Lewis, has he really gone through a moment when he hasn't been impactful in the game?
that is fair.
Like even when he was
Yeah.
original, he was effectively one of the top guys that was there, one of the top heroes to focus on,
He was the top
right?
originally because all you had like was Maya as his as the other option. You didn't even have Julia. Even when Chun came out, it's like, well, Chun can't even like support. She has like extra rage needed to get her skill off, so on and so forth. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like, I mean, when Julia came out, arguably that was like the biggest change in range ever. So like that was the only
But
time maybe you can test it
but even
in any
then, Lewis
regard.
was still absolutely,
Better, just he had
within
more
his line.
uses. Like,
Absolutely.
yeah.
And
So it's like.
so it's one of those questions that I'm looking at. I'm like, if that was the case, then we would have seen a drop in him. But even also looking at the fact that his skin is probably one of still the most useless like upgrades in comparison to what you're getting. Like compared to what the sisters got, like their skins made them
So
super
funny too,
relevant.
because it cost the same thing
Yeah,
to get his skin that it got to get the two sister skins, which were arguably far better on their own.
far better.
Like you're gonna give me a price for 2 to 1
Hmm.
where each skin is far better than what Lewis offers. Like, come on now,
Yeah,
don't do my
and
boy Lewis. Like,
and even looking at Miyamoto's update with his skin, I think that his update, even though it's arguably still not as influential as the sisters still got more treatment than either of them did.
I think I think they might have real. Well, I think it's also a matter of like they need to put reason into getting the sisters as well, because not only like are you buying the actual skin itself, but the sisters have really lost like any reason for you to invest in them. I mean,
Hmm.
at least now like you got much more of an incentive. I mean, I would say like the thing about Catherine and them, I honestly never really had an issue with them. I think like even as new heroes came out, like riders are kind of like this where you could go with many of the options and they still arguably are, obviously there's still better options, but there's arguably within the same kind of vicinity of like skill level. That's
Hmm.
why I think like they started falling off, and it's kind of like at the end of the day, if you're having to spend hundreds of dollars to awaken and obtain like Catherine or something, you need an incentive. So they probably had more of an incentive to actually make her, relevant again
Hmm.
compared to like Miyamoto and them. Plus like Miyamoto and them are already like pretty relevant. So it's like, why would
That's
I
true. Number one,
up
why
the
would
too much?
IGG put up that skin in the first place? I think there's a many other options that they should have had over Miyamoto. Don't get me wrong. I
Yeah,
think it
dude.
looks great.
Not on the field. That icon,
You,
bro.
you
It
don't
looks
like it?
great when you look at it in the Europe. Not in the field. The field, like the field
Oh.
icon.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah.
talking about?
Just the mask.
That one's a little bogus. I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, but I like the skin in general. It's
Yeah, it looks pretty bad. I'm pretty happy with the skin. I didn't get it obviously because $400 is ridiculous. Because like I said, $400 is
get off that.
it's just, that's what I'm saying. It's gonna look good, but I don't need it. But even in comparison, like I said, going back to the original point, was there a time when Lewis really hasn't been relevant? Because even now with Ethan being as powerful as he is, Lewis gets awakened yet again with the boosts to AoE damage, the boosts to Ethan and Garrison.
One thing I do wonder though is how with the new implementation of the new hero, like the guy who I'm talking about, the guy who reduces the damage, the AoE damage,
Daryl.
would you be better off using Victor? You know what I mean? Or would you still be better off using Lewis in at least multi-rally situations? You know
Oh,
what I'm saying?
yeah. Because of the fact that Victor is a single target.
Yeah, and I mean like since he's reducing the AoE damage, Victor's also pretty solid, but I don't like him over like Lewis on like with the combo with Ethan. But if it comes down to like reducing his AoE damage, just like are you better off just using Victor at that point? You know what I mean? Kind of
Yeah, or
depends on who.
or somebody who's gonna like even yeah, like your Ethan Victor is
Sophie,
probably your best, or
Sophie maybe.
Ethan Sophie, something that's gonna be more less AOE damage and more high individual damage.
Yeah, at least you can focus on popping that main rally. That's also the issue with something like Chasey. The thing that sucks about her is she sucks so bad at taking multi rallies.
Hmm.
Yeah, she's gonna melt that first rally, but dude, like she has like basically no counter damage, which I do think is actually something that I like about the new hero that reduced the AoE damage. Because if you're like multi rallying it and you're using like range rallies or something, you might be like really debuffing how much damage you're taking from these, like secondary rallies.
Hmm.
So it could be a really good addition to just Garrison as well.
Well, I think if anything, the new riding heroes are going to give riders kind of exactly what they're looking for, because we got Chasey and then she kind of had to fill into the rally position already, right? So we've seen Chasey being a rally leader, out in the field. And I think it's only because riders haven't really had another outlet. But again, I think these new wave of heroes really kind of makes me question a couple of things. Number one, how big are these? Like, how much balance do we really have when each new hero becomes the meta in itself for everything? And number two, how much are we going to see any kind of balance coming in regards to like debuffs on these other heroes to kind of bring that balance in place? Do you know what I mean? Like maybe they'll have to do
Yeah.
something like how I can't remember which hero it is. I'll have to look back and through and look, but there's a hero that has a debuff in his skill set. But you can equate it to
You know
any of the
Marco?
collab. Well, you can equate it to any of the collaboration heroes, for example, that do more to the opposing, but take more from the opposing. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. It's kind of like the that talent tree thing. That's like the whatever it's called in the talent tree, where you're like, oh, deal more skill damage, but take more skill damage. I know
Yeah,
what you're
yeah,
talking about.
something like that. So they have. I wonder if they're gonna have some kind of built-in metric to kind of bring balance. Because like I said, it just seems weird to me that every new hero that they release, suddenly becomes the meta for every action.
Yeah, every single aspect of the game.
Right? Like even Stella, you shouldn't put her in the field, and even I've had Z tell me don't use her in the field, and yet I've seen this motherfucker in the same words using her in the field. So like,
Well, it's probably more convenient. I feel like a lot of people I didn't understand it myself because realistically, like Stella is the last to get focused. I get the whole like, but she's just mainly a tanky hero, right? I never understood like swarming a tower, for example, with like a Stella over something like actual damage dealer. That's both for dishing out damage.
mhm.
I've also seen this with like tower swarms, for example. I remember this was like months ago, maybe like a year ago. I remember Thanos, for example. I saw him playing in a smaller bracket, and he was like swarming a tower with like Tom, Ragoro, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And it's like, dude, you're using tank heroes to swarm stuff. Like you're obviously one not gonna be putting out enough damage in a small amount of time, and you're literally not built for this type of job. Like use a
Yeah.
hero that's built to where it's dishing out damage. Like you're not accomplishing your goal. And on the field, a hero like that is just going to be focused last. So it's like, what is it really accomplishing in like a 5v5 to take out squads, etc. I just
It's like I said, it's one of those situations within the game that I start to question, because like you look at these heroes and you can understand how strong they're going to be on paper, but you can't really tell until you get them in the field and actually start using them. But like I said, if all of a sudden they become the meta pick for rally and garrison and field fighting and at what point do we draw the line and say there really has to be some kind of other balance that happens within the game? But you leave it to IGG.
yeah, developers they know whatever they're doing. I don't know what they're doing, but they know it. They know it better than us.
They have to. They're making money and they're making lots of it, and we're still here.
They better
So
be. They better be. If they're putting out updates like these, that's actually killing us. They better be making money, or
that's
they're
right.
really doing something wrong.
That's right. If they're not making money, then I got words. If they are making money, it is what it is. And like I said, we're still paying the price, so I'm not going anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, we can complain, but we're still gonna be playing in the palm of their hand.
That's true. It's right. I can
We're still
complain as I'm
eating out their
handing over
hand.
my paychecks.
Exactly. I don't do all that now. I'm not even like a big spender. I don't know if people think I am, but I don't spend all that much money. I don't really care.
You know,
Live my-
I used to set up a budget of around $100 a month, 100 American a month. But the truth is, I think the budget is more, or not necessarily around a budget per month, but more around a budget per event. Do you know what I mean? Like some events I don't
Oh
budget
my
anything.
gosh.
Some events I don't
No,
budget anything. I'm just free to play on all of them. But like
I
some of
was gonna
them,
say.
you know,
I thought you meant like no budget is in. I'm gonna spend whatever the heck I want. So I was like,
no,
oh no,
no, no,
this.
no. It's a hyper budget now. It's more like if it's for AR, for example, it's like I might spend $40 or $50 or $100 on AR, and then I won't spend then I won't spend in the next event, or I won't spend in the GW or things like that. Or it's like the Beast event is up right now, so it's like if I'm gonna spend in this event in this month or in this next 6 weeks, I'm gonna spend it now during one of the events or the armament event or something like that. You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
like it's not like a monthly thing anymore. It's more like a lot of events I do free to play, but some I'll drop a little. For skins, for city skins, for shelter skins, I'm a sucker for a $10 shelter skin. You know what I mean?
Oh, I thought you were right. $10 ones, yeah, those are easy. If you go aim for the legendary, you gotta save that budget all year
No,
all year
listen.
round
I am a
and
sucker.
more.
I am a sucker for those legendary vouchers. Okay, that's what I like. I like the 3 day, the 1 day worth voucher that I can keep in my bag and never use and just look at forever.
If I get them, I just use them during an event. Like if I can't use them, I mean, like, what is the point of me having them? I get people like having them like trophies, but
I,
I can't do all that. I'm
I
not about
still
that
have one
life.
from the Tyrannosaurus skin.
Did they have an event for that? For
Yeah,
like temporary? I didn't even know that. Or
yeah,
oh wait, because it was only top 10 got it permanently, right? And
yeah,
then like every
exactly.
like your region.
I still have that
Yeah,
skin voucher, bro. I still
it's kind
have
of
my
funny.
skin voucher too.
It's kind of funny when those actually came out originally. Most
Yeah.
people wouldn't know this, but Region 6 had it like, maybe when it was like starting, but all the old regions literally had it just happen to them randomly. It just came around. So if you saved up, like whoever saved up the most, like there were free to play players who got it in like region 1 through 5 or whatever, right? Whereas like in newer regions, you got to be a whale if you want to
Yeah.
actually get that, top 10. But people who saved got it. It was kind of funny. So
It's
I don't
one
know.
of those
I ended up
things.
getting it on that counts.
It's one of those things I've come to terms with never having. March skin, legendary shelter skin. I've just come to term I'll never have one. They're too expensive. The value of them is literally pittance, you
I will
know?
say I got a March skin, but it was because the tournament, right?
Yeah.
They paid me in some gold in game, and I hadn't bought the March skin, but you could spend a certain amount, I think, and like it's one of those like you spend like let's say $100, you get the March skin, right? So I
Right, right.
basically spent the gold I had, and I ended up getting the March skin. So now I had the Phoenix skin, and I'm like, oh,
So
look at me, I'm a little whale.
so you got that because they paid you to get it.
They paid me in gold, right? So they paid me
That's
like I don't
awesome.
know, like 1K in gold, like $1,000 in gold.
That's
Which
awesome.
people told me I should have been paid more, which would have been cool, but
Probably, especially
for what I
since it's
did.
in game currency. Fuck these guys. Of course they could have paid you more in game currency.
I mean, like as a commentator, I guess like it kind of would have been cool, but I was still happy to get anything. Honestly, I probably still would have went for free. Honestly, they would have been like, "Yo,
That's true. I
you
mean,
want to do it?" I'd
they
be like,
paid your trip,
"Oh,
right?
yeah, 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 yeah." It's actually kind of funny because
So like
there's like travel insurance or something. You know
yeah.
what that is? Like it's like whenever you're traveling. I don't know, but like I bought it out of my pocket, and they offered to either like pay you back, so like they would maybe PayPal you, or they would give you gold that wasn't equivalent, but they would give you more gold because obviously gold is free for them.
Yeah,
So they like
exactly.
if you paid like $200, they might give you like $300 in gold, right? So it's kind of funny, but they
Nice.
paid for my trip, basically.
Yeah, I mean, and here's a big thing. I would take a trip like that in as a vacation to a sweet destination and getting $1,000 bonus gold. Pat yourself
Heck
on the
yeah.
back, bro. You know what I mean? Like that's a win.
Talking about, right? Because they,
Yeah.
they pay for all your food and everything. It's kind of funny because we were at this, we were obviously at the resort or whatever, and I remember on the last day, I basically had like you had like a certain amount of like points or something, right? Like, 'cause I forget how it worked exactly, but like you could use these currency points or whatever to get like food in the hotel,
Hmm.
and I had a ton of points, but I kept getting like the like average stuff. Like I didn't get anything off the menus because I didn't even know about it. Like so the last day when I'm about to leave, the like H&B guys who I'm with, right? They basically are like, "Yo, you got all these points?" Like, cause I had went up and like I had to like ask for like how much I had. So like I ended up just paying for everybody to get food that day. I was like, I'm about to leave. So like let's they're
Let's
like,
go
you
with a
gotta pay for it.
bang.
Yeah, I was like, okay then. I didn't even know I had all this. So I got it right. I guess
Oh
I got it
man.
right food that day.
Oh, that's gangster.
Out of my pocket, but the IG pockets. But I'm act like I was big balling that day.
Well, yeah, you
So
just
I was
had the
like,
boss
here,
bank
I'll
account for
pay
the
for
day.
all you. I was like, I'll pay for all your food, guys. It's okay.
I got this. Oh my goodness, that seems like as good a spot as any to go ahead and wrap up this episode of Surviving the Apocalypse. Podcast put together exactly by these two beautiful gentlemen for the simple purpose of just shooting the shit every couple of weeks on the changings of the game. All the new stuff they got bringing to us, kind of giving us a little context into it, and hopefully some laughter and enjoyment along the way. So as always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Head over to Panda's chat, head over to Panda's channel, which will also be in the description. Like, comment, and subscribe. Support the man with white legs, and let's make sure that we let's make
Hey
sure.
man, next time I'll wear my other hoodie that you were digging in the closet.
Yeah, the colorful one. See, I got all
Yes,
mine made by
sir.
my wife makes all mine, so they're all special customs. So I'm
Yeah,
happy
you
with
got
that.
all the weed hoodies.
Yeah, that's right. I got weed hoodies. I'm wearing a Magic hoodie, Magic the Gathering, because I used to play that shit like crazy.
I've never played it, but I know of it.
That's
You
a
definitely
conversation for a whole nother time.
different stream, yeah.
Yeah, that's a
Or
whole
stream,
nother
different
time.
podcast.
Yeah, exactly. But that being said, guys, like I said, if you can, go ahead, like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to become a member. Head over to Pandas and become a member too. There's both of us who need support. And as we mentioned, IGG don't pay shit. And YouTube doesn't really pay very much. So it really comes down to the support from the communities. So get out
Pennies
there.
in my pocket.
Yeah, that's right.
It's my side change.
That's right. Anything else to help the communities. But as we say, guys, love, peace, chicken grease. And until next time, stay lifted.